always the potential any moment where we get some clarity on Bill Self's future at Kansas. And I know that a lot of the momentum is that he is going to retire. That's the assumption right now. Crazier things have happened and that have resulted in a change of where that could end up, but that's the thought right now. And then you see North Carolina firing Hubert Davis. And on Saturday, when the reports were coming out from Chapel Hill that boosters and those that were going to be, essentially in power when it comes to the fundraising efforts, a lot of them had said, hey, if you keep Hubert Davis, we are not going to continue to write checks. Well, once that happens, you're done. You can't retain that coach. And so Hubert Davis is out. And as it relates to Kansas, it's what I mentioned yesterday, and I think you agreed with as well, and that is the scary part is when both jobs open up, if both jobs open up, that North Carolina and Kansas potentially competing for the same pool of coaches, although there is a report out this morning that perhaps now former or soon-to-be former Chicago Bulls head coach Billy Donovan
is very high on their
is
list.
A top target for North Carolina. I'll be honest, I would not want him at Kansas. I don't
think he's a fit for Kansas. You can be a fit for a different program, but
anytime someone hasn't coached college ball in, has it been 10 years? Something like that, whatever it's been for him. We all know what he did at Florida way back when.
It might even be longer than that.
It's been 15, 20 years. I mean, he was at Oklahoma City, the Thunder, and then he was then he took a little time off. I think then he's been the Bulls coach for a while. So I think if I'm looking at the names, that would not be a name that intrigues me, somebody that's been away from the college game like that. However, I guess the argument would be, look, today's day and age of college basketball, you need somebody that is used to player movement and constantly evolving rosters and kind of managing that element to it. So maybe that's not the worst thing. But if North Carolina hired Billy Donovan, I would not be like, oh my gosh, KU missed out on him. If in fact Bill Self retires.
I mean, it's not a great hire though in a lot of ways for North Carolina. As in multi-time national champion and has run a college program in the old system and understands how to handle professionals who make a lot of money in the hypothetical new system. So you would think, and certainly was very good at getting money into his program during that time. So, to me, that is like a pretty decent hire from UNC. And more importantly, very different than the hire they went with Hubert Davis in the previous one. Typically, if it doesn't go well,
you pivot.
Yeah, you shift. Like in the Bill Self case, you don't necessarily have to go someone opposite Bill Self. It went great with Bill Self. You're not necessarily looking for someone way different than that if he is, again, to retire. I still feel like we'll find out by Monday at the latest.
So Matt Norlander over at CBS Sports Today, he was on a podcast. I think he was with Gary Parrish. Yeah, with Gary Parrish earlier. And he said, quote, there's some loose rumors out there in college basketball circles this morning that Bill Self could announce his retirement today. But a source close to Self tells CBS Sports this is, quote, bad information, not on the table as of now. Now, he is not saying that Bill Self is not retiring. He's just saying the idea that an announcement is happening today, he's hearing that that's not going to be the case. So that kind of goes back to Mike Vernon, who joined us yesterday. He was saying that it's early, but people that he is talking to feel that that's the direction Bill Self is leaning, even if a decision has not been made yet.
And again, that seems to be the prevailing thought for anybody who pretty much covers college basketball on a national level, that all of the momentum is barreling towards Bill Self no longer being the coach at Kansas. But I mean, yeah, UNC and Kansas open at the same time would be intriguing. The question, I guess, for Billy Donovan is the same for any coach who makes the jump to the NBA. Do they want to deal with the college game anymore? Because I heard the same things you did, which is UNC's and Kansas should try for Brad Stevens. And I'm like, why would Brad Stevens, who was a coach in the NBA, and then jumped to the executive level of a team in the NBA, want to go back to just coaching Kansas? I'm not saying there's obviously that's a good job, in a coaching circle, right? It's one of the best jobs you can have as a coach. But why did you do all that work to become a front office member for a successful franchise, then to go back to be a college coach? Some guys want to coach again, some don't.
That's your answer. I mean, he would have to be missing coaching, for that to be the case. A lot of the names, though, it's more of back channeling through agents, and you make them say no to you and find out, is there even remote interest from a Brad Stevens if in fact the job opens up?
It is interesting. His name keeps coming up on it's come up for 5-6 years ever since he stopped coaching these big jobs.
Yeah, but it's only the biggest jobs that you would think that somebody is not delusional, but like convincing themselves that he'd actually take a call from Kansas, because we're Kansas. And I don't blame him. That's one of the 5 best jobs in the country. If he was going to take a college job,
it would
he's
be
not,
one of those.
Yeah, he's not taking a job unless it's Duke, North Carolina, Kansas,
And there's already the report out that says he has told North Carolina that he's removed his name from consideration.
Do you think he actually got called, or do you think this is prior to being called? But Brad Stevens is like, yeah, I'm taking my name out of it.
I think it always gets tricky because the way everybody words it is nobody wants. It's the same thing as with college football coaches. Nobody claims that nobody was offered the job until they accepted the job. It's like it's that whole deal. That way when whoever hires anybody, they're like, oh, he's the only guy we offered the job to. That's our number one choice. Well, technically true, but that's because they were told no from other people. And so I think when there's a national search, the way any of these top premier programs have it, they just have, whether it's a search firm, which is a terrible waste of money, or they just have their athletic director back channel it through agents, and you reach out to an agent that represents Brad Stevens or whoever, and you have a phone call and you say, do you have any interest in coming to Kansas? And it's a quick yes or no. And if it's, we'd listen to it kind of thing. And then you proceed forward. There's also going to be, Drew, you were looking up the buyout amounts today. I mean, even if you're talking about Tommy Lloyd and TJ Otzelberger, these are all names I would be interested in if I was KU, but there's also going to be a couple of these coaches at least, and a majority of them that are going to just use it as leverage through their agent to get a massive raise. Like Tommy Lloyd, if he doesn't leave, he's going to get a brand new contract. Hell, Fred Hoiberg at Nebraska just signed a new contract, I think, last week.
Yep.
So some of this is the leverage aspect.
Somebody mentioned Dusty May. It feels like Michigan, in terms of spots to be, I know that Kansas basketball is a bigger job than Michigan basketball, but given the money that Michigan has and the momentum that he has, there's no reason for him to leave, I suppose, more than and that's where.
Other than it still is Kansas.
Correct.
There's a huge difference between that and Michigan,
Correct, but I mean, he is a 1 seed at Michigan, where KU hasn't been a 1 seed the last 2 years. I mean, I think he's in a spot where he can win, and there's less pressure than there would be at Kansas anyways. Why would I leave that spot? I know that it is Kansas, but I think it's the same thing with the college football jobs. I think it's, if you have money, which Michigan has tons of funding because the alumni base is massive, you're less inclined to leave a place like that because of name, image, and likeness than you would be if name, image, and likeness didn't exist. I think then you start to introduce that conversation a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm with you on 2 of the names on the list that I don't know why I would leave. Like I would love Tommy Lloyd or Dusty May. I'll be honest, if I'm them, I don't know why I would leave those spots. I'm in agreement there. I don't know. And as much as I think they would be amazing hires for KU, and they're at the top of my list, why would Tommy Lloyd lead? I know, Cody, it is Kansas, and trust me, you know that I
Arizona for a while was considered a blue blood, though.
Yeah,
I mean, at least from a program
with
standpoint.
NIL, with the money, your Final Four contender, national title contender already there. This is not a flash in the pan thing at Arizona. It's way different than if we're talking about a mid-major coach that just has this 1 year perfect team, everything went right. Hell, it's what happened with Dusty May from Florida Atlantic to go to Michigan. When that happens, that's different. Like, you're not going to have a sustained Final Four run with Florida Atlantic year after year.
Sure.
At Michigan, you could. At Arizona, you could. It's not it's not like KU is the alma mater of Dusty May or Tommy Lloyd. That's a whole different conversation. It'd be a no-brainer right now. If Tommy Lloyd was a KU alum, this would be an easy decision, and this would be a no-brainer.
For sure.
If, in fact, Bill Self does retire.
I guess sometimes it's just, and coaches handle this differently, so I can't answer for Tommy Lloyd, as you can imagine, because I don't know in which way he will lean in this. But it seems right now you're like, well, no, this is great. Like, things are going well. What if he loses again this weekend? Then he'll have 4 years in which he's had a lot of success, but lost in the regional semifinal 4 years in a row. Sometimes, Drew, and I can't remember. Gosh, I wish I could remember what college football program we were talking about. Which coach did this?
I mean, Indiana,
maybe Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's a great example of this. Or some of these other guys. They leave before it can go south. Like with Tommy Lloyd, it's all going great now. He missed the tournament next year, let's just say. And then he's the guy who's gone to the regional semifinal a bunch, lost a bunch, and sure, he's going to the tournament and he's better than Sean Miller was, but he's not accomplishing the big thing.
Yeah.
Miss one tournament, then all of a sudden, you're not in the hot seat, but people don't like you as much. Sometimes in college, even though your job looks great right now, you leave before it can look bad because You weren't there long enough for things to ever go south.
I think in college basketball it's different. Plus, Arizona's been better the last couple of years than KU has been. So like if he's technically would be downgrading in a job in terms of performance over the last 2 years. And Arizona,
but, you can't look at it from a 2-year sample size. That's a crazy way to decide on your job.
But from a blue blood standpoint, Arizona, I think, fits into the same category as KU does. Maybe not in the national significance, but if we're talking big time jobs, Arizona basketball with Lute Olson and the history there is one of the best jobs in college basketball outside of them just being good right now.
Yeah, in fairness, with Arizona, I agree more. Versus the Dusty May argument. It's not like Michigan doesn't have that kind of history. And the same thing applies, right? Michigan is doing well now. He's been the coach there for 2 years. He's made a regional semifinal both times. But if next year's team misses the tournament, then all of a sudden it's not as rosy. It's like, I can win anywhere. I can win at Michigan anywhere.
I think that's a
missing the
Kansas
tournament,
is an easier place to win. Well, fine. Let's just say you're an 8 seed and you lose in the first weekend.
Is KU actually a better place to win than Michigan is currently?
Yes.
So I think
given that the Big 12 is the tougher conference, because I think that categorizes into it, because it's not like Michigan is slacking at getting guys in the portal or in recruiting. I think because going back to the John Calhoun days, they made it to Final Fours in the national title game.
Yeah, so I think Kansas still is a better job, but that doesn't mean that it's you're automatically leaving for it. I think that's the difference in today's era of college basketball compared to 2010. Let's say, or 2015 even for that matter. Yes, is Kansas still a better job than Michigan? Yes. But in today's era, can you accomplish nearly the same stuff in Michigan? Yes. And that's why it's like, do you fine, right now. Uh-huh. So it's like, why would you those are the two guys that I would love to have at KU if Self retires. But I'll admit, I don't know why either of them would truly leave in today's day and age of college hoops. Now, some of the other names, like a TJ Otzelberger, to me, it's a no-brainer. Iowa State's athletic department is broke. I mean, go look. There's been articles about this for the last year or so. It's a big reason why Matt Campbell left. Yes, he left for Penn State, but also they're kind of broke in today's day and age of college athletics. And so I think, that is why that's a whole different conversation. But we'll see. I mean, the names that are out there, the reason why the North Carolina thing is interesting, and maybe they already have their number one target and it won't be a problem. Having your job open the same time as North Carolina, or for North Carolina to have their job open the same time, let's say if Bill Self retires, that's not what you really want. And it's why I know deep down, if you ask KU fans, no matter how disappointed they are with this year and the last 2 years in particular, if you told me you could get one more year out of Bill Self, I would sign up for that 1,000%.
Yes. Yeah, because you're not, and this goes back to the level of job. The odds of you, pretty much the odds of you getting a coach as good as Bill Self, I'll be honest, are 2%. Genuinely. It's a 2% chance at Kansas you find a coach as good as Bill Self. That's it. It's not, your odds are not great. Maybe 5%. Because at Kansas you can recruit, what we talked about. You can at least call Dusty May, call Dan Hurley, call Tommy Lloyd, call Brad Stevens. They might all tell you no, but you can at least make a phone call. But the odds are you're going to have to hope. And look, it's not, and this is the thing that's a real downside to the job. It might be the only negative part of the job, which is it's not going to be fun that the last two coaches in Kansas history are Roy Williams and Bill Self. The idea of living up to the expectation that will be set in taking that job sucks.
Yeah, no, you're
good luck.
Not wrong, but I don't want them to. If the coach that you hire is worried about that, then I don't want to hire that coach anyway. If that is his fear, then I don't want that coach anyway. But you're not wrong. Of course, the bar is extremely high. I mean, if Kansas, I don't care who it is, whether if it was Jock Vaughn getting promoted, if it's Dusty May, whoever they end up hiring, and I want to continue to say if and when Bill Self retires, he is still the head coach at Kansas right now. If that happens, then 2 years from now, if Kansas is all of a sudden an 8 seed in back-to-back tournaments, KU fans, including myself, are going to say, not good enough. I want that guy gone. Yeah. And so that's the danger that you fall in. That is where, as much as it's fair to be critical of what has happened here recently for Bill Self and how you're disappointed with the lack of deep tournament runs, I just want to recognize everybody freaked out because they were a 4 seed this year, and at one time in his tenure they were a 7 seed. Look what happened at North Carolina is in this Hubert Davis thing is the exact example of what could happen. Yeah, Hubert Davis won a ton of basketball games at North Carolina. Ton of games. And it still wasn't good enough for North Carolina because they didn't go on a couple deep tournament runs here recently. And so the bar should be high at these places, but I'm just saying it is by no means a sure thing. And it's why I told you yesterday, I'm terrified of what the future could be post Bill Self. Do I think they're going to turn into Indiana basketball? No. But at the same time, could they be what North Carolina has turned into, which is, just being a tournament team and being in a first four or whatever? Yeah, I'm terrified of that happening. Absolutely.
It is interesting, the conversation around Carolina, because they beat KU, they beat Duke, and they beat Kentucky this year.
Yep.
And they were in the top 10 they lost their best player. So I think there's part of them not making a deep run is because of that. Obviously, they shouldn't have blown the 19-point lead and all those other things.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to you guys before the show, and I think Bill Self should get a lot of credit for what he's done to this point, obviously, in this aspect, and that's the fundraising side of things, which I think is more why Hubert Davis actually got fired than the basketball side of things.
Yeah, the donors said no
and
more.
The donors didn't want to deal with it, where Bill Self has done a great job of keeping those people happy, and that's a big part of the job that nobody talks about is shaking the hands, being the person who is first in the room to meet everybody, and being a very friendly face that everybody can get along with. And those are the ones that succeed the longest, even in quote unquote down years. They have the support of those guys because they take the time and they're good with the donors.
I gotta say, and last thing I know, we're gonna talk a little Royals baseball. This is still the part of me that's different with Kansas. Or like I think it's easy to just generalize and say it's just as easy to win at Michigan as it is at Arizona. Those teams haven't won a national championship in 30 and 40 years. So it's not as easy.
I think that's the tournament,
an easy generalization.
It depends on how good the coaches are.
But that's what we're talking about. I mean, in the end, if we're talking about Kansas or taking these other jobs, we're not talking about finishing second in the Big 12 or third in the Big 10. We're talking about titles.
Cody, if KU was so easy to win at, then why is a team with Darren Peterson
Drew, you're pointing out one year, man.
I can go back to last year. They got two of the 5 best players in the portal, and they were bad last season. If it's so easy, then it shouldn't matter. I think it's the coaches. Dusty May has proven it's all about the coaches. That's why Curt Cignetti, who is the best coach in college football, wanted a place that nobody thought he could win at because the coach was good. It's not about the program as much as it is the coach.
Football and basketball are a little bit different.
Correct.
And I think in a lot of ways they are. But Drew, you're pointing out 2 years. If it's so easy to win at Michigan, then why did Juwan Howard get fired and missed the tournament 2 years in a row? Or missed the tournament 3 out of 4 years?
Because he was like the person that Jacques Vaughn, his worst case scenario, it didn't work. Juwan Howard had no coaching experience. He was in the NBA for a little bit. He had 0 coaching experience in college. That was a risky hire, the same as it'd be as if they promoted Jacques Vaughn. Dusty May came in the first 2 years that he's been in there and was better than any year of Juwan Howard and has been better than KU. Kansas.
For
Michigan.
2 years, though. That's that is a really short-sighted way to look at a program.
He got hired from FAU and was immediately better than one of the best college basketball coaches that we've seen in history before at a program that is not a blue blood. That, to me, I think is why it proves that coaching matters in this.
No, I mean, coaching definitely matters, but I mean, we're talking 2 years, man. I just can't.
Coaching is a huge part of it. I mean, I will.
It's the thing that I'm with you for overtakes everything else.
I'm with you for about 90% of what I think, 90% of what you said. The only part I would take issue with is this notion that just because of 2 years that Dusty May is just automatically a better coach than Bill Self now. That I'll push back on. But the 2 years, has he been better? Yeah. But again, 4 years ago, Kansas won a national title. Look, Dusty May would be my maybe number one choice on who I would hire if I was Kansas. He should be
pretty high on the list, yeah.
Tommy Lloyd, I just don't think is realistic. I don't think he's leaving.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit surprised.
We'll get into this more, though. Obviously, keeping an eye on any of the reports out there today, as at some point, one way or the other, we're going to learn the future of what Bill Self, what Bill Self's future is, I should say, at Kansas. All right, let's talk a little Royals baseball, though, as we inch closer to opening day. Vern's going to join us at 12:30 today for our weekly conversation with our Royals insider. I think you and I and Drew all agree that the Royals and the Tigers are the two teams to beat in this division, knowing what the other teams did in the offseason, which was frankly not much at all. And the roster and the core pieces the Royals have, of course, the rotation that the Tigers have is awfully impressive. What would be the first thing you would say that has to go right for the Royals to win the Central? We can all like the roster, but what has to go right? What can't go wrong, I guess, is the other way to look at it.
So the outfield can't be nearly as bad as it was last year. That's just bare minimum, right there. I still think Bobby Wood Jr. has to be an MVP caliber player. I think that is important. He doesn't have to win the MVP, but he's still got to be one of the 5 best players in the sport across the board in order for it to happen. And the third thing that I think is really important, because I'm going to set aside starting pitching here for a minute, because I feel like that's relatively a known. The third thing is their back end of their bullpen can't fall apart. It is good on paper as a plan. I've got no issue with the plan, with the bullpen. But the back end of the bullpen has to be good. The Strom signing has to work. Estevez has to be able to close out some games. Urseg needs to be closer to 2 years ago than last year. I think the back end of the bullpen is one of those things that I think needs to go right for a Central win. Not to get in the playoffs. They could find a way to scratch their way through some wins and carry themselves with starting pitching. But for me, those three things, not a laughing stock in the outfield, a bullpen plan that comes together, and Bobby Witt Jr. still being one of the 5 best players in the sport. They do those things, I do think they'll win the AL Central. I don't think it's as long of a list as we think.
Yeah, I think, what has to go right for them, it's been the entire theme since probably middle of last season, which was the acknowledgement of the outfield offensive holes that existed. And the same thing has to go right this go around. It doesn't even have to be Jack Caglione, although that's the easiest path for it, that he figures it out. But whether it's Lane Thomas, whether it's somehow Isaac Collins, but I really think we're talking about Lane Thomas and Caglione because of the two bats that have power potential in the outfield. Maybe you want to throw Starling Marte in there. He's going to be more of a pinch hitter and an occasional start, once or twice a week kind of guy, depending on how the production goes. But what has to go right, they just simply have, but whether it's Lane Thomas or Caglione, one of them has to be a consistent bat with power for them. Like if you tell me this offense, everybody else is good, but the outfield again,
but one of them hits 25 or 30 homers.
You get that.
Don't care.
For them to win the Central, somebody in that outfield has to be a consistent bat with power. Kyle Isbell had a career year, and it's no disrespect.
But he's not the power guy.
No disrespect to him, but there's no pop.
No.
There's no pop out of that bat.
It's not his game. I think if you're right in the sense that if it could be Lane Thomas or Jack Caglione, and probably the number is like 30 home runs. I know that sounds really small, but they last year's outfield didn't just not get on base or not hit for average. They didn't hit any home runs. Like even Jack Caglione in his 50 games didn't put the ball over the fence as much as you need him to in the long run. Like if you go back through, they had power last year. Vinny, as we mentioned, was top 20 in baseball in homers. Salvador Perez had 30. Bobby's home run numbers were down, but he also led Major League in doubles and hits. So I'm not exactly worried about his power numbers. But then after that, look at the outfield numbers. Hell, their best outfield. Do you know who hit the most home runs in their outfield last year? It was 9, by the way, before I let you guess the player. 9 whole homers was the number. Not Jack Caglione. He hit 7, so I'll just take him off.
Freaking Yastrzemski or
yes.
something? Oh, well, okay. Yeah.
Mike Yastrzemski with 9. And he showed up when? For the final 50 games of the year, which means everybody else who played the rest of the year. The next highest home run total in the outfield for the Royals was 4 in Kyle Isbell. Yastrzemski had 9, who gave them a push in the outfield. Jack Caglione had 7. And the next highest outfielder in home runs last year was 4. Kyle Isbell. So I'll just tell you right now, if Lane Thomas hits 20, 25, if Jack Caglione hits 25, 30 home runs, that is a dramatic increase in offense out of the outfield. I mean, huge, night and day, black and white. We can go back to the college basketball example. I mean, it is the difference.
Don't forget our opening day coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking. And again, Vern will join us at 12:30 today. All right, up next, let's get into some more college basketball, but on the court stuff. Sweet 16 gets going tomorrow. We'll predict a little bit of how that could play out. And one thing the NFL is going to be asking its TV partners to do and what it tells us about potentially 18 games sooner rather than later.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
This baseball season, FanDuel's letting you choose your own reward for opening week. Betting customizations that transform how you experience the game. Make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next MLB bet. FanDuel is the home of home runs. Now that you can choose your own reward for opening week, baseball just got a lot more exciting. Maybe you want to spotlight Vinnie Pasquantino, and you think he has a chance to hit a home run on opening day or lead the league in RBI. You can head over to FanDuel. So if you're ready, head over there to play your game. FanDuel.com/local. to choose your reward for MLB's opening week. FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Busey, banking is about more than numbers. It's about relationships. For over 150 years, we've been helping individuals, families, and businesses reach their goals with personalized service and local decision-making. Whether you're opening your first account or planning your next big move, we're here with the tools and support to help you move forward with confidence. Busey Bank, your partner for life's moments, both big and small. Member FDIC.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code WAGON for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WAGON for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's WAGON.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Rob Site Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Site Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Site Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Site Ford.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, we're just getting started here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Don't forget, join us at Rally House this Friday. Rally with us for MLB Opening Day events over in Independence, the Independence location off of East 39th Street. We're going to have 4 $100 Rally House gift cards given away to 4 customers and listeners out there. 2 tickets to the home opener from us here at the station. Plus, the first 100 customers through the door are going to receive a Rally House Opening Day scratcher ticket, receive up to 40% off their next MLB purchase. And, of course, Rally House is your home for authentic Royals gear. On-field hats, jerseys, apparel straight from the source. You can level up your fandom at one of their stores. Hopefully, you come by the Independence location on Friday, or, of course, rallyhouse.com. Let's talk a little more college hoops. Get away from the coaching part for a second, and we'll certainly get back into Bill Self and if there's any update on perhaps a decision today, although Matt Norlander from CBS Sports is saying he's hearing that won't happen today, so we'll see. But the Sweet 16, because we did not get as many of the upsets, we'll have to get back into the specific conversation about was it good or whatever. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The ratings are awesome, record ratings.
College basketball is best ratings in the regular season, too. NIL's helped college basketball. You've already said that. It has.
And because we haven't had the upsets, though, we got some unreal matchups for tomorrow. Like I cannot wait for tomorrow. It starts with Texas and Purdue, and that's actually one of the bigger spreads of the Sweet 16. It's 7.5. Texas, though, I think you have to view them way differently right now than what you did entering the tournament. I get it that Purdue has been the much better team all year, but as we know, that it doesn't matter really at this point. Who's playing their best basketball? Texas is playing some of the best basketball of their season, if not the best basketball of their season, and now they don't have the same, oh man, they're going to be worn out from the first four. No, they made it to the second weekend, so the whole first four thing doesn't even matter anymore in terms of like, oh, you're asking them to play 3 games in a short period of time. That doesn't matter. They've now they're going to have 4 or 5 days off before they get to the game.
I would say that this has been one of the under-discussed new trends of the NCAA tournament since it switched to 68 and NIL in full effect. One of the play-in teams goes on a little run. One of those 11-seeded play-in teams seems to just like get some confidence from game one, doesn't look rusty in the first matchup, and kind of carries that momentum in. So
6 times since to your point, 6 times it's happened since the first 4 began.
It just feels like every year it's like it's an under-discussed trend. I kind of thought it was going to be Miami of Ohio this year. Wasn't. Ended up being Texas, who has been like cruising throughout this. But if you're making me predict right now, let's just say for the tomorrow's matchups, which of these teams are going to get through, I kind of like Texas in the game. I at least like them to cover. I'll say that for sure. I like them. I wouldn't hate a small money line.
Plus 270 on the money line.
If we're being honest, but I definitely like them to cover the spread at this point, and that's only a teaser. The best game of the night is Illinois and Houston.
Yeah, we can get. Sorry, I was just gonna say real quick on the Texas Purdue game. The only worry I would have with taking Texas to win is I said it's a benefit that they have time off, so they're not worn out. But give Matt Painter also now a couple days to get ready for Texas. You know, that there is that element. You're playing a hot team and you don't have much time to prepare in the tournament. Well, now you've got your full scout and normal time frame to prepare for a game. They're going to be ready for what, you know, Sean Miller and Texas have on top of it. It goes both ways, but that'll be my only worry. Like the hot team, does it stall out a little bit because of the break that they have? But we saw in 2021 UCLA go to a Final Four out of the first 4. We saw Syracuse go to a Sweet 16 in 2018. We all know about VCU way back when going first 4 to the Final Four. So it is definitely happening. All right, you were more excited though about the Houston game?
Oh, easily. And like I know that one's late.
Don't skip over Iowa, Nebraska.
We can talk Iowa, Nebraska, and Arkansas, Arizona. Those are also awesome games.
I think Iowa, Nebraska might be the game of the night.
I mean, I don't know that I can take all the jokes about corn or whatever is going to take place in the lead up to that game. Look, this is if in a Cinderella-less NCAA tournament, this is what we got left in the Cinderella department. Whoever advances from the Iowa Nebraska game is the unlikely engine that that keeps chugging along. I get it. Nebraska was 0 tournament wins in their history until this tournament. Now they got 2. Iowa, I genuinely thought was going to get their ass kicked by Florida and hadn't been in a Sweet 16 in forever. Somehow got past the defending national champ. So these are as close to a, not Cinderella in the traditional sense for the NCAA tournament, but the reason to watch that game is you can root for either. You don't have to be rooting against either team. You're like, you know what? Good for you, unless you are an Iowa State fan. Or,
I mean, I'll be pulling for Nebraska, I think. I'll be pulling for Nebraska.
But that's because you know some Nebraska fans.
I do.
I know some Iowa. Yeah. I have some friends who are Iowa fans. I don't know, I got a strong lean either way, but either one who wins doesn't offend me. I'll be rooting for that team to win in the Elite 8 matchup, just for the upset part of it, most likely. Won't you? I mean, I guess you like a good, strong Final Four.
For me, if the matchup ends up in the Elite 8, Nebraska-Houston, the reason why I want Nebraska win, because to me, that's an unbelievable Elite 8 game in Houston. You're going to have the Houston crowd. If Houston beats Illinois, I'm not saying that's a guarantee. I have them winning, but that's just from the bracket stuff. If it's Houston in Houston, and then Nebraska fans are down there as well, you know how ridiculous that environment's going to be for the Elite 8?
Tickets to that game might be nuts.
Nebraska, look, and I know Iowa fans travel too, but the only fan base that can try to match what Houston's going to have down there, to me, is Nebraska.
Yeah, very well might be. Based on the brackets I have, I would say Purdue, and then I didn't have anybody in Iowa, Nebraska. You and I both had Arizona winning it all, and I had Illinois getting to the Final Four. I think that's why I like that Illinois matchup.
Okay.
Other than, and look, I get the problem. Houston basketball games are not fun to watch. They play a gritty, gross, old, Drew will appreciate this, 2010s Big Ten style of basketball. You're like, cool. Can't wait for 58-56.
Oh, they're better than that.
To be the final score. No, Houston's just so good defensively.
Yeah.
But they are sometimes ugly games. against Houston. They are good to make games ugly.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's not going to be the St. John's KU game that we saw because Houston can still hang 75 on a regular. Like they average 75. Like they have a guy that's going to go top 5 in the draft probably. I
Flemings,
think that, I think that.
So is Illinois and Wagler, right? I mean, he might go top. Which, he's definitely going to be a lottery pick.
I think that's what makes the matchup fascinating from that Illinois-Houston standpoint. Is Houston does a great job of disrupting shooters and big-time players. Is Keaton Walker going to be able to do whatever he wants? Also, Illinois rebounds the ball out extremely well. Houston also does that. So that matchup, I think that's going to be.
It's the reason why it's the late game.
I think that's the best game of the night. From a matchup perspective, it's just so good.
The late primetime window. That's what the TV execs are thinking, too. They're thinking it's the best game. With it being at 9:05, it's a late start.
From a matchup perspective, at least, yeah.
And then we didn't Arkansas, Arizona. Arkansas, I think we've all discussed Kickoff and what he's.
Clock's turning midnight on
you think?
Arkansas.
You think so?
Weekend.
Look, Arizona, I have winning it all, and I think they're the best team in the country. But Arkansas has the ability to make that a game with a guy right now that's maybe playing better basketball than anybody left in the tournament.
He has the most points, I think, from a freshman in NCAA tournament history.
I think he's playing the best basketball of any one player. When you have a guy at that level, you can never say they don't have a shot to pull off an upset. They are 7.5-point underdogs, but Arkansas, Arizona, I'm kind of with you. I expect it to end for Arkansas, but I don't think we should write them off.
Yeah, you're not saying. I really like that matchup for Arizona. I still think there's some defensive things that Arizona can do to Arkansas that's a problem. And I think sometimes you can ride that little bit of a high of we're missing our second leading scorer. Let's rally the troops. And for the same reason you mentioned, you get a week off, things cool down, and you got to stare down the barrel. I just think in this case, I think Arizona is noticeably the better team. And so, I could be wrong. We'll see, I guess, come that time. But I do still like him in that matchup.
We'll talk more about it tomorrow as well, and also the Friday slate of the Sweet 16. Here in about 20 minutes, we'll get back into the Royals, some bold predictions for the 2026 season. But the NFL is going to have some rule changes we'll get into. They're going to vote on in the next couple of days. They also are working with TV partners again, trying to move forward and maybe get these television deals earlier, even though technically the rights agreements go till 29 and 30. But Awful Announcing kind of had a write-up on this as well, even though we're 4 years away, that there's a couple reports suggesting that the league is going to exercise its option and also try to not only get more money from their TV partners, but is there a chance that because of the money, could we see a shakeup with something that, I don't know about you, I've gotten so used to around Sunday Night Football? I don't like what's possibly going to happen. Tell me, you scared me yesterday after the show when you said, have you seen they're going to mess with Sunday Night Football?
So there are rumors, very early
this.
rumors. Look, with the 18 game, I think we know what's going to happen here. The streaming partners are going to be the ones who buy those up. They're going to be on Peacock or Netflix or HBO or whatever other program wants to dip their toe in the NFL waters, right? Amazon has seen their ratings increase every single year to the point that, according to execs, they're very happy with the numbers they're getting, the subscribers they're getting, and everything else in between. The rumor as a part of this is that Amazon is big, and they got more money to spend. They got more money than any of these TV networks can spend. And what they want as a part of this, Gold, is that they want to steal Sunday Night Football. And they want to bump NBC over to Thursday Night Football. And they want the prime spot. They're sick of getting Jags-Browns on a Thursday night. And they want the flexibility. They want the prime matchups. They want the standalone after everybody's watched the NFL game. And that Amazon might make a real play for Sunday Night Football. Is there just some part of you that it's the nostalgia of it? Because you'd still get Sunday night. It wouldn't change.
Al Michaels would be back too.
Nah, he'll be retired by then. I think Al Michaels got a year or two left. I think he's got a year or two left. I just look Sunday Night. I think NBC does an amazing job with Sunday Night Football. I'm talking even from the nerdy stuff with the graphics and everything. The whole presentation.
You like the broadcast?
Music? Yeah, Carrie Underwood intro. All of it is top notch. I still think Tirico and Collinsworth is right up there with the best crew in the NFL, if not the best. So I would be disappointed with it. You're right. Of course, I would still watch, and it would end up working out and all that. But I don't know. I think NBC is perfect for Sunday night. That's become the game of the week. It used to be Monday Night Football way back when we were kids. That was the game you wanted to be on, Monday Night Football, and that was the show. No, now you want to be on Sunday Night Football.
It does seem like it's the new prime version of it. But can they stave them off? Because here's what I think is happening here. I think what's happening here is the NFL execs are leaking that to put pressure on these broadcast groups. Because in that same article, do you know what's happening here? Technically, all these broadcasts, CBS, NBC, ABC, they got these deals locked up. They don't have to negotiate for more money with the NFL for 4 or 5 more years. But what they want to do is they want the NFL to just pay them. They want the partners, the NFL, wants them to pay them more now. They're getting it for what they think is a steal. They're paying $2.1 billion per year, and they want $3 billion. They want the TV partners, the network TV partners, to negotiate against themselves in order to protect their broadcast windows. So like, oh, you still want Sunday Night Football? Well, then come to the table now and pay us $3 million per year, even though you don't have to. You can tell us to kick rocks. You can say we have a contract. It's signed, sealed, delivered. We don't have to negotiate with you for years. And what the NFL is probably telling them is, if you wait 3 years and you don't do this 4 years and you don't negotiate until the contract's up, well, then we'll just give Sunday Night Football to Prime. You know why? They'll pay us more. I think this is all a threat. I think they might mess with Sunday Night Football for you, Gold, but I think it's all a big, like, contract threat amongst these teams. It's crazy. There's so much money in the NFL, man. All I know is going to be more games on streaming partners.
Of course,
they're
that's
going to
not
fight for
change.
the 18 games, and I think that's maybe coming down the pike a little faster than we think too.
Yeah, look, the streaming stuff, I know we're all annoyed by. That's just not, that part's not ending. They're going to continue to offer up more and more standalone games on these streaming platforms. And then, the 18-game part of it is kind of interesting. This was Mike Florio discussing that from Pro Football Talk, that maybe we know it could be 2028 based on some scheduling that's already happening for future Super Bowls.
I think that they're going to go to J.C. Treader, and they are going to lay out a new CBA that is premised upon, above all else, an 18-game regular season, 16 international games per year. Robert Kraft has already talked openly and nonchalantly about this is how it's going to be. Not this is what we want. This is how it's going to be. And I think that's important because that's the attitude that is going to be projected to J.C. Treader. Hey, J.C., this is how it's going to be. We can do it the easy way. We can do it the hard way. We're going to make you an offer right now that is going to be better than any offer we're going to make later. And if we have to lock you out, if you make us wait until after the 2030 season and we lock you out for all of the offseason, and eventually the players cry uncle because they won't want to miss a game check, we'll gladly sit out the whole season. I think it's going to move faster than anyone realizes because, and this is the key, the Super Bowl to be played in Atlanta in February of 2028 does not have a date yet.
That part is interesting, and I think Pablo Torre also pointed it out, is that we always know the future sites in advance, but typically we also know the dates 4 years in advance.
Yeah, they usually put them on the bottom of the graphic when they announce the site.
But we don't know the date for the 2028 Super Bowl. Could that be because the schedule might be a little different? It might be a week later than normal. And so I think it's all connected. And I know you would like to think, well, the players should have all the leverage in negotiations. They don't, because most of the guys don't want to miss a check when it comes down to it. And so this is why I think Florio, as much as we criticize it, I think he's spot on. That what he laid out, I think that's exactly how it's playing out. I think that the league is going to say, hey, we want to opt out of this deal earlier. I know the deal is till 2030. We want to opt out. And here's also more money in the short term. Right now, we're going to give you more money right now, but this is also what we're going to do. So I fully expect by 2028, I think, guys, we're going to be talking about an 18-game schedule, everybody playing 2 international games. I think that is absolutely happening.
Is the only thing that the biggest thing that the players would want out of this would be a second bye, right? Like if the owners are like, hey, we'll give you a second bye, but we're going to do 18 games. I don't know. Like, is there going to be any much discussion around that? Or is it going to be, yep, they give us what we want. We're going to go ahead and take it and not even try to negotiate. Just if they're giving us a double bye, then we're going to take it, and it's fine.
I think you're just going to see their money that they get will increase.
They know the cap's going to go up.
I think the cap guarantees. I think the bye will be part of it. I also think could preseason get knocked down. And the other thing, if I'm the NFLPA, I'm asking for, while it seems so small, but it does matter. Remember, they represent everybody, not just the top players. And that is, all right, expand the roster size. Because that's more jobs, that's more money for
Give us
their
60 people.
So instead of a 53-man roster, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I don't know if it's 60, Cody, or if it's 58. I have no idea what the number should be. But
and that's not including practice squad, right? Practice squad is separate.
And that's already increased over the years, as you know.
From 8 to 16.
I think that would be a big ask for me if I'm the players. Give us more jobs, right? So increase the roster size to some
55,
higher number.
56, whatever, yeah.
That would be something that I think you should negotiate.
Could it be something where you just include the practice squad on the like you just put them on the roster themselves? Where
I don't know how it would work.
You essentially have a 70-man roster, but the practice squad guys are
they kind of get that anyway. I think they get that anyway, and I don't think the NFL coaches actually want how about this? I don't think the teams or the front offices feel a need to pay them regular NFL salaries. They're comfortable with the system because, again, if somebody tries to pluck them off your practice squad, you're just as welcome as anyone else to just stuff them on your roster instead and actually protect that player. So I don't think they mind that. But it's a pretty good threat to say, this is the best deal. We'll lock you out, and we'll give you something worse. That's a pretty good threat. I'm not saying it's fair.
It's negotiating.
It's not a bad one.
It's how the game is played. Real quick, I just want to get to an update that just came across from Gary Bedore over the Star. If anybody knows Gary,
Kansas since World War II.
Well,
my God, Gary's been he's been at it for a while.
Gary's been covering KU athletics for decades, and he used to be at the Lawrence Journal World. He's now at the Kansas City Star. He just tweeted out, quote, "Bill Self tells me, as of now, there is no news to report regarding his decision. In fact, he told me BS, bad info," referring to some comments out there. That is, as of now, from the head coach. The one thing that has been a trend, I will say, as much as you might be as a KU fan saying, okay, well, that's great news. Matt Norlander also phrased it in a similar way, which is, as of now, there is no news. Nobody's disputing that, like, oh, there's no way he's retiring, Bill Self tells me. That's not what anybody's reporting. It is he has not made a decision yet. And it's BS that I have made a decision or whatever. So, look, you can hold on to it and say that this means he's not retiring. I don't know what it ultimately means. All we know is he hasn't made a decision, or at least one that he wants to be public yet. How about that?
Hearing that, it makes me, not that he is, again, not that he's coming back for sure, but that almost makes me think like he's not going to decide this thing until Friday night or Saturday. Like, it makes me think this is going to be pushed back, but we're not actually going to be able to address this thing till Monday.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I
hearing bad information and there's no truth to hearing that I've made a decision. I mean,
yeah, you just said BS and bad info, referring to some of the comments that are out there.
Yeah.
Bedore is probably if you had like an odds market for person most likely to officially announce.
He's known Bill for a very long time.
To break
he's
the
the
report.
guy to pay attention to.
He's covered Kansas basketball for 47 years.
Yeah.
Since 1978, he's been on the Kansas beat. So, like, if it's coming from Bedore, we can take that as good as anybody who's reporting this up to this point, other than Bill Self himself, which that's coming from.
Yeah, that's straight from the horse's mouth, right? Yeah. I mean, and again, he is not. Bill Self, though, is not telling Gary, I'm not retiring. That's where it's like, he's not saying I'm coming back. He's not saying I'm not retiring.
I haven't made that decision.
Anybody telling me, anybody saying that they're reporting that I'm retiring and I've already made that decision is not true. That's basically all that report is.
This kind of goes back to like the way we talked about Travis Kelce and his free agency stuff when he was talking about retirement is Self knows this just the same. The transfer portal opens up in 2 weeks.
April 7th.
He is not going to let Kansas be in a position. Honestly, I don't think he's going to let Kansas be in a position where they don't have a coach
for the portal
in charge of the program before 4/7, which means there's only a handful of days remaining before he eventually will come to that decision, announce that decision, and we'll know whether or not Bill Self's returning to Kansas or retiring. Because they're going to want a coach in place by 4/6. Before these players announce where they're going to go and the transfer portal opens.
Yeah.
And look, you can recruit some to Kansas City without a coach, but he's not going to put them in a position where you don't know if it's the guys we mentioned earlier, Dusty May or others.
And look, Travis Goff, the AD, he's not an idiot, okay? I'm sure behind the scenes he has got a plan in place. You know, they're not going to be caught off guard and then they have a plan in place to proceed forward if, in fact, it means Bill Self is retiring. Will it all work out? We'll find out. It's obviously nervous times for KU fans, and I totally get that. I told you I'm right there with you guys. It is uncharted territory potentially in the last 25 years. You know, it's been since Roy Williams decided to hop over to North Carolina the last time there was a KU basketball vacancy, if, in fact, Bill Self does retire. Coming up in 10 minutes, we will get to some more Royals baseball. I do want to share something from Dan Orlovski, who was on Pat McAfee yesterday. He was talking about the quarterbacks in the draft, and we know Mendoza is going to go number 1 overall, but Ty Simpson out of Alabama could be the only other quarterback drafted in the first round. And we don't know if that's going to be as high as like 12 or 15, or he could be in the 20s. Everybody is kind of guessing at this point on that. But you had the news yesterday. I can't see the cut. Sorry, that's why I'm pausing. I don't see the cut in the system. You can tell me if I'm missing it. But I was going to try to play the cut from Dan Orlovski talking about Ty Simpson being better than Fernando Mendoza. And Pat McAfee basically just pushed back on it entirely from Dan Orlovski. I know there's plenty of times where evaluations on quarterbacks are wrong. So at this point, if Dan Orlovski is saying one of them's going to be better, it doesn't necessarily mean he's wrong. And by the way, here is the whole conversation.
We boots on the ground saw Fernando through the biggest games, and it's just like everything about him just screams.
What biggest games, Pat?
Huh?
What biggest games?
The college football playoffs.
Now you're playing possum.
No, you're right. Those SEC games are bigger than the fucking playoff games, Dan.
Am I allowed to ask questions and have an opinion
They
as well?
played each other head to head.
Okay,
actually.
Dan, do you just have so the college football playoffs a big mockery, a scam, doesn't mean anything. These games just don't matter. Like, what do you mean? What are the biggest games? They have a full committee. They have billions of dollars in TV rights for what the biggest games are.
Okay, and so no, I'm aware of that, dude. Like, you guys, okay, so in the biggest games, so the college football playoffs started, and they played opening.
Well, you can start at the Big Ten championship, I guess. You could say Big Ten.
Okay, Big Ten championship. Okay, Big Ten championship. In that game, they're down 13-6 going into the fourth quarter. Indiana.
And then what?
Boom.
So do they win the game?
And then what, brother?
But yes, but
we're talking about all the moments. You're talking about traits. It's like, okay, how about 2nd and 17?
6 points through the first 3 quarters. People.
Ohio State's defense is a historic defense. Like, what are we even talking about?
People crucified Arch Manning for doing that on the road.
Crucified Arch Manning. Arch Manning's not a part of this conversation.
Well, if you go by that too, like Indiana beat Alabama, 38-0. I mean, it's
Yeah, so we're just picking and choosing.
No. You
yeah. And this is why people say you're getting paid to do this. You know what I mean, Dan?
No.
So, by the way, this is the perfect. These are the fun debates and disagreements that happen on sports talk radio all the time. This is not unique.
It's the same thing. Like seeing a sample size. You're pointing out one game in which Fernando Mendoza's team didn't score points, while the guy you're defending got shut out
by said team.
Look,
it's crazy.
We can sit here and say Mendoza, like I've told you, and I think you're on the same page. I don't think he's going to ever be a top 10 quarterback in football.
No.
Okay, but the point against him and for Ty Simpson cannot be that he wasn't good in big games and in big moments.
Correct.
That cannot be your argument for why Ty Simpson's better. You might think Ty Simpson can be the better quarterback. Fine, we all have our opinion, but you can't possibly claim that Mendoza in the big games didn't perform. That makes
when he scored
no
like
sense.
50 points a game in the college football playoff on his way to a national championship at Indiana. The resource difference between Alabama and Indiana, at least historically, somewhat significant.
Yeah.
But it's also just like pinpointing one single game. It's why, like, when Drew and I were arguing earlier, I don't like the Dusty May, like, 2-year example at Michigan. It's like, that's too small. Too small a scope for me to look at. But one game's even worse.
And even so, because I think
you can like Ty Simpson more, but using that as the example.
Yeah, the big game
terrible.
thing is interesting because when you like, even if Fernando wasn't having that good of a game, you would say, when it came down to it, he delivered every single time, whether it was the Penn State game in that late drive, it was against Ohio State, or it was the game and the run against Miami where he gets hit so hard from behind, but he's like, I'm not going down, I'm going to score this touchdown. Like, that's something that if you like the it factor, like that's what Fernando Mendoza has, which is why he's going to go number one.
Yeah, I don't get how anybody can push back, at least on the part about Mendoza being the big game.
I think if this is like the month out from the draft, agent work.
Okay.
This is what I genuinely think is happening. And not just to call out Orlovski. I swear to you, just this week, all at once, there were like 10 national media members who all of a sudden happened to like Ty Simpson more than Fernando Mendoza. And this is not like an effort to get Ty Simpson drafted number 1 overall. This is an effort to get Ty Simpson drafted 17th. To get him drafted 12th. To not have him go in the 24 range where he's said now. I think this is really great agent work. And kudos to his agent. He's got at least Dan Orlovski out here saying he likes Ty Simpson better.
By the way, our tournament coverage, when we get back into it, is presented by Busey Bank, the official bank of the Big 12. Up next, let's talk some more Royals baseball. Some bold predictions. Maybe a few of them you already saw out on our station Instagram account. We'll go through some of them that we all put out there. And what do we make of a few rule changes the NFL could approve later on this weekend?
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinnie Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
He got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a... let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13 and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
When the cold sets in across KC, AB May is the trusted name for keeping your home warm, safe, and secure. From furnace repairs to system replacements, we deliver reliable solutions in unmatched care and professionalism. Whether it's a sudden breakdown or routine maintenance, AB May is here to help. Trusted by generations of Kansas City homeowners, we're committed to doing things the right way every time. Call AB May at 913-732-9993 or visit us at abmay.com.
Call your serviceman from AB May.
We have a couple of nationally televised and some other pro basketball games on tonight. Let's take a look at the latest pro basketball injury report, presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. Atlanta travels to Detroit tonight with tip-off at 7 p.m. Jalen Johnson is the only player listed on Atlanta's injury report. He's dealing with a shoulder injury that kept him out of Monday's game and will be a game-time decision tonight. For Detroit, they'll be without star guard Cade Cunningham, who suffered a collapsed lung last week. He'll likely rest at least another week before the team reevaluates his status. Later tonight, Houston will play Minnesota with playoff seeding implications on the line. Minnesota guard Anthony Edwards won't play because of a right knee injury. He's missed the team's last 4 games, and his return date remains uncertain. Houston, on the other hand, will enter play tonight with a relatively clean injury report. That's today's report. Listen all season long for weekly injury updates presented by Fanatics Sportsbook, the home of fair play. Download the app today. Winning hits different with Fanatics Sportsbook when everything is on the line before the playoffs. And this season, you may have heard about Fanatics Sportsbook and their one-of-a-kind fair play injury protection. There's no better place to bet player props than Fanatics Sportsbook, and last night proves the point. Detroit versus Washington. Detroit all-star point guard goes down in the first quarter with an injury and does not return in the second half. Fanatics Fair Play voided all pro player prop bets across straights, parlays, and same-game parlays instantly and let your bets play out. Some books protect your bet for just the first quarter. Some discontinued your protection for the playoffs. But not at Fanatics Sportsbook, where they flip losing bets into winning bets. The numbers are right here. Fanatics Sportsbook Fair Play policy saved 50% of SGPs. Don't wait for that bad bet with other books this playoffs. Bet with the book that always has your back. Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here.
Feeling the heat? Don't sweat it. Turn to Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling. With temperatures rising, now's the time to make sure your AC is ready to keep you cool. Whether it's your home or your business, Comfort Systems services both residential and commercial systems across the Kansas City area. Call today for a fast tune-up, repair, or a system upgrade so you can stay cool all summer long. Family owned and operated since 1990, comforting people is what we do. Comfort Systems is right for you. MyComfortSystems.com.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $59.99 guaranteed. That's right. Don't just cut back. Stop smoking once and for all. Also, lose all the weight you want. Only $59.99 guaranteed with Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating, and lose the weight. Weight loss hypnosis. Wednesday, April 1st at the Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City. Formerly Shore Stay Plus by Best Western in Kansas City. 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis. 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Come on. No! It's just a golf lesson, champ. Loosen up.
I can't. See that Hyundai Santa Fe?
Yeah.
I only paid to know.
Finish up on your own. I gotta run.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends March 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Baseball is back. Opening night is one exclusive game, and it's live on Netflix. Tonight, the New York Yankees, led by 7-time All-Star Aaron Judge, are in the Bay Area to face Rafael Devers and the San Francisco Giants. A brand new way to watch Major League Baseball, and it all starts here. MLB opening night, Yankees vs. Giants, live on Netflix. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Vern's On Deck show for the Royals home opener against the Twins on March 30th starts at 2. First pitch just after 3. All right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the trash of the day in about 15 minutes or so. Want to talk some Royals baseball right now. And also during the break, the Royals did put out their official opening day roster to finalize the 26-man opening day roster. Of course, they play Friday night in Atlanta against the Braves. Couple notables here. Eli Morgan was selected to the 40-man roster, option to AAA. Also, Drew Waters designated for assignment. That was the corresponding move. So Drew Waters not going to be part of the Royals organization moving forward. There also were some injuries of note. We were discussing the bullpen yesterday. 3 players, though, placed on the injured list, including James MacArthur, right elbow inflammation. So him being a 6th inning guy or 7th inning guy, that's not going to happen, at least to begin the season.
Not yet.
Stephen Kolek, left oblique strain, and then Michael Massey still dealing with a left calf strain. Feel bad for him. He can't stay healthy. He cannot stay healthy.
All of those are retroactive to the 22nd, so the first day they'd be available is around the 1st or 2nd of April.
Yeah.
So we'll see. A couple of other guys. Look, Drew Waters, there were some hopes that maybe the former first-round pick would work out here in Kansas City. I think we've long since known he has not been a part of their long-term plans.
Right.
So we'll see. No surprises on the opening day roster. There was some argument about whether or not it would be Lofton or Tolbert, but they didn't have to make that decision.
True.
Because Michael Massey was unavailable, so they didn't have to decide on that just yet. And then some of the last few bullpen arms kind of decide themselves with a couple of those guys still waiting to figure it out in Kolek. Kolek will likely start in AAA as a starter anyway. Falter, who they've more decided is kind of a long reliever, garbage time.
There you go. Yeah.
Style pitcher. He's not trash.
Yeah.
As in the guy who comes in probably more in those situations. So pretty much as you expect. I am curious to see how like Lynch and Mears and Lang and some of these guys I haven't really watched pitch to. Because like the back end guys, you know who those are. Like we've discussed those kind of ad nauseum. So you know where they are.
Does the opening day roster release get you more excited for opening day? Does it feel more like it's this week because of the roster coming out?
Little things help, Drew. When they send out like, here are the 26 people we're going into battle with. Yeah, that actually like
it gets you a little bit more excited. Yeah,
there's not a lot of mystery, but at least I can like, okay, these are the players I need to know.
Yeah.
And look, there are still players like they're going to be Royals fans who are like, oh my God, I forgot they even signed Starling Marte, who's on the opening day roster. Where they're not going to they're going to forget the trade for Nick Mears. They're not going to remember some of like the small stuff that comes into it, but that's what's kind of fun about it. Get to know the team a little bit.
What's your guys' boldest prediction, I guess, for the season? And we can have a couple of them. We can save a few even for Friday or Monday. If you follow our station on social media, you should, by the way, if you don't already, the Fan 965. One of our videos earlier in the week was about a bold prediction. And I think I remember what each of yours was. You guys can fill me in.
Mine's gone further since. I've looked harder at the numbers.
But. So for mine, one of them is Matt Quatraro to be manager of the year. And is it bold? Sure. I think here's the thought on it, though. One, from a betting angle, I like it because it's 22-1 over at least one book.
Yep.
But the AL Central, go look at the history of manager of the year in the American League. The AL Central is a popular place for that for a variety of reasons. If you think, and I do, that the Royals have a legit chance to win the division, well, am I betting the Royals to win the division at 2-1? Or that their manager's the manager of the year at 22-1.
22-1.
I think if the Royals win the division, Matt Quatraro has an unbelievable shot at winning manager of the year. Now, there can be a surprise. There can be some first-year manager out there that takes his team in the AL to a postseason that nobody was expecting, and then we're not hitting it. But Matt Quatraro has an unbelievable shot to be manager of the year if you think this team is competing for a division title, and I do. And that'll automatically put him in real conversation to do so. And if you look at the other AL managers, I don't think A.J. Hinch is getting manager of the year, even if the Tigers were to win it. The only manager in the AL Central that can win manager of the year, unless the White Sox shock everybody and shock the world.
Unless they're actually really good.
Is Matt Quatraro. So that's my bold prediction. Matt Quatraro will be the American League manager of the year.
Like you said, it's like you could bet them to just win the division if you think that, but you're getting 10 times the odds to do the other. I like that as a bold prediction. He's honestly on the list, and they come out of the AL Central all the time. People just generally, I don't know what it is. So
it's because the lower payrolls typically, and people give that as the benefit of the doubt. I mean, the last couple manager of the years in the AL. So last 2 years it was Stephen Vogt, of Cleveland, and then Brandon Hyde was not AL Central. That was Baltimore. The year before that it was Terry Francona with the Guardians. The Guardians have had 3 AL manager of the years out of the last 4 years. Then it was Tampa for 2, but then it was right back to the AL Central with Rocco Baldelli. Then it was the AL West, but then for 2 years prior to that, 2017 and 2016, both AL Central managers. It has been, I don't know what the exact percentage breakdown is there, like 80% of the last 10 have been AL Central.
Text line is already tossing there, and they say Luinder Avila will be a closer at some point for the team this year. All right, so I gave my answer. In fairness, Spec asked us this on Monday and already had it penciled in as like a topic we would do later in the week. His show. I was like, okay, so I thought a little bit about it, but I hadn't decided on the firm numbers. And so when I gave it, I was a little conservative on the social media number, but I thought really hard about it. I looked at other hitters with their talent, and I decided that my bold prediction on the video is not bold enough. My bold prediction for the Royals this year is Jack Caglianone's going to hit 35 home runs or more. Like, I'll say plus. How about that? He will hit more than 34 and a half home runs.
Okay.
And I'm not I'm not giving you an average. I'm not giving you an on-base percentage. Hell, I might not even give you an OPS. But Jack Caglianone will put the ball over the fence 35 times or more this season.
The Royals winning the division if that happens. If that happens, they're winning the division.
Both of our bold predictions will come true. Look, I was wrong on mine last year. You were right. You were the only one who got it right. You said Carlos Estevez would lead the American League in saves.
Yeah.
That ended up being a true statement. They had led baseball, actually. He took it a step further than your bold prediction. I think Jack Caglianone's hitting at least 35 home runs this year. If you look at the ancillary power numbers and the things he's capable of, if he's just simply healthy, I think he will get to that number. And so I might be conservative still, but I think he's going to end up having a huge year for Kansas City from a power perspective. And you and I pointed out, Mike Yastrzemski was the leading outfielder in home runs for the Royals last year at 9. Jack Caglianone at 7.
Jeez.
And at 4, Kyle Isbell was 3rd. Gross. Ooh. I actually think they have 3 outfielders who top that probably.
Lane Thomas could hit 30.
Yeah. So
he
I think Lane Thomas hits 20.
Yeah.
But if Jack Caglianone does what I do at 35 and 20, that is 50 additional home runs than they got out of the top 3 guys last year. So, I just think Jack Caglianone's going to hit a lot of homers this year.
I hope you're right. I would love that. That would be a great sign for the Royals.
So I'm going along with Cody, but in a different player. Vinnie Pasquantino will hit 45 home runs this year. That is my bold
45?
Vinny will hit 40.
He took it a whole step ahead of me. I said Cags at 35.
Well, you said
makes me look
you
like
said
a
last
coward.
year Vinny hit what, 33?
32.
And he was on
17th
pace
in baseball.
And because of dimensions, he was on pace for maybe 5 to 7 more. So
they claim that based on the numbers that he would have hit between 5 and 7 more based on the outfield projections.
So let's say the projections are right and he would normally hit 38. We're asking for a 7 homer bump. I think Vinny's going to get off to a better start this year. And
He'd be one of the premier power hitters in baseball.
Vinnie Pasquantino
if he hit 45.
will hit 45. And also, I don't know. I mean, based on what you said about Lane Thomas, and if Jack does that, we might have to have, instead of the Bronx Bombers, it's like the KC Bombers or something like that.
I mean,
with how many home runs are going to get hit.
If all three of our
come on now.
come true.
I will say, I do hope that Gold is right about this, because last year I said Q would be the manager of the year, and it did not go very well.
Oh, that was your bold prediction last year?
That was my bold prediction last year. So let's hope that.
I mean, look,
for their sake, that Q is the manager of the year.
45 home runs last year. The players that hit over 45 or 45 or more. Junior Caminero had the 6th most. Eugenio Suarez with the Mariners had 49. Judge 53. Ohtani 55. Schwarber 56. And then, of course, Cal Raleigh had an unbelievable year with 60. Yeah, that's bold. That's what we wanted. 45 is very bold.
Where would 35 put Jack Caglione?
Last year, 13th in baseball.
Okay, respectable.
Yeah, it would have been 13th in baseball a year ago, if in fact they did that. I told you and maybe I'll save it, actually. I'll save it for later in the week. I do have a Vinnie Pasquantino prediction / bet that I like, but I'll save that for Friday or Monday.
Like one of the texts
not
on
home run. It's not home run related.
Because one of the texts on 785, their bold prediction is that Vinny is going to win the batting title.
Okay.
Is their official bold
Mine's
prediction?
more RBI related.
Okay.
So, yeah,
what would it take? Batting average? He must have been.
Somebody said Vinny's over-under's at 25.5? Or they got Vinny's over-under at 25.5?
They got it at 25.5 at one point.
What is it now?
I mean, they might not think he's going to hit 30 again. He didn't hit 30 the year before.
Hey, if it's in the 20s, I'm going to have
I'm
going to hammer that right now.
Home runs again, you can shop around to different books.
Yeah.
But on FanDuel, over 26.5 is minus 120.
Hang on a second.
I got to say, that would be a huge swing for Vinny to be a batting champ. Normally, power hitters aren't batting champs. Those two things don't typically go hand in hand.
What makes the batting champ again for me who's
leads the baseball in batting average?
Just average period?
Now, look, in fairness, I think the batting champ last year was Aaron Judge. He hit like 330. So, power hitters can certainly do that.
Triple Crown is average homers and RBI?
Judge hit 331. If you're wondering, just to be in that conversation, Jacob Wilson was second with hit 311 with
Bobby
Bobush.
did it the year before at like 330.
Yeah, George Springer was 309. I mean, so yeah, Bobby hit 295 last year, and that was the 9th best, tied for the 9th best in baseball.
I would guess Vinny, did he hit like 265? He's not usually a high average guy.
Michael Garcia was 21st in baseball in average, 286. Vinny was
like 260.
Yeah, Vinny wasn't on the front page of this. I mean, that's just he was 264. He was 54th in baseball.
Okay. So, I mean, again, respectable.
Yeah.
But that's a huge jump. You're going to have to 50 points better and then hope nobody has the hits 330 year.
Yeah. And again,
in order to be a batting
these are bold predictions for a reason. Because if all of these hit, well, then the Royals are winning the World Series and having 100 wins. And,
can't wait. Well, yeah, that's what they're bold predictions.
Yeah.
No bold predictions around Bobby either, because we know how good Bobby is.
Yeah, we just expect it. We just nobody. There's really not much of a bold prediction. Like if I said Bobby Witt MVP, that's not a bold prediction at this point.
No, like somebody on YouTube, and this is not to knock him. They said Carter Jensen would Rookie of the Year. He's got the second best odds. That's not as bold as you think. He's got the second best odds to do it. Like do we have over-unders?
Yeah. Does he have the
third? He's top 5.
Yeah, McGonigal has the best because McGonigal just made the opening day roster for the Tigers. So Kevin McGonigal, who's one of the top prospects.
Changed.
And then I butcher this guy, Okamoto for the
White Sox.
Kazuma. He's plus 450, and then Carter Jensen 6-1, and then Trey Savage, who's hurt.
You got it. Yeah.
He's 9-1, and then Murakami is plus 950, and then Basalo, the catcher for the Orioles, is 11-1.
Can I bet on Jack Caglione's home run total yet?
You might have to shop around. Not on FanDuel, they don't offer it. You might be able to shop around and find it at some other books.
I gotta go looking.
I would say for season-long futures for baseball, probably more than any other sport, I would say shop around. There's just such a difference. Manager of the year at one book is 9-1 for Q, 22-1 at another. Like you definitely want to shop around for baseball-related props.
There's some more that are coming in now. Somebody says Vinny has 2 stolen bases this year.
Hey, I asked him about that, and then he ended up getting a stolen base in the World Baseball Classic. So do I give him credit for that one, even though it wasn't in the regular season?
Another one, Cole Reagans wins 15-plus games. I don't know how bold you would say that is. I mean, obviously, he's got to be in the game long enough, and they can't blow it.
Over DraftKings, do you want to take a guess at what you think Jack Caglione's over-under in home runs is?
On DraftKings, 29.5.
Less.
23.5.
24.5.
Plus.
24.5 is it? Minus 105 at 24.5.
I'll take it's not fun to bet the under.
Sounds like we have some bets to make, Cody.
But if I wanted him to hit 30 plus, I can get it at plus 400.
Someone said Jonathan India hits 20 homers. Would that be a career high?
It would.
Also, Okamoto on the Blue Jays. Thank you, Texter. Murakami,
sorry,
White Sox.
Murakami. I'm kidding.
Someone said their bold prediction, Bobby, 50 homers and 45 steals.
Well, he's winning MVP. So there you go.
Yeah.
Winning again. The Royals are winning 105 games, and,
Awesome
and
news.
they're gonna just roll through the American League.
If only you could take
Can't
all
wait.
of our bold predictions and actually make them a reality here.
I take it back. 21 home runs is the Jonathan India's career high.
Cody, somebody says Cags over 35 homers is 7-1 on DraftKings right now.
It's now it's getting bolder by the second. YouTube, somebody says bold prediction,
Let's keep
Michael
going.
Garcia wins MVP.
Let's keep going.
MVP.
Co-MVP, yeah. We're Bobby
fairness-
Witt and
8-1-6. The Royals are winning the ALCS. They're going to the World Series.
Okay.
Well, if these predictions hit, they will.
I will be very excited. But here's the problem with we talk about Michael Garcia. Like if you're thinking about like, hey, I'm going to bet on some of these bold predictions I'm making. Michael Garcia's biggest issue is he does not hit enough home runs to win the MVP. Yeah. You have to hit a lot, like at least 30 home runs to be an MVP. And then if it's just like 30, you better also have the batting title or stolen bases or win a Gold Glove or be on the team with the best record in the American League. Because Aaron Judge is still going to hit 55 homers and hit 320 and have a 1,200 OPS. So, like, you're always going to have to overcome that.
If the Royals, okay, so
it's tough.
If you were to take Bobby,
maybe better than the player in your own team.
If you were to take if the Royals would have won the division, like the last year, like would Bobby have won it just because the team was better? Do you think that would make the difference more so than Bobby's individual stats?
Last year wasn't going to win it because of Cal Ruddy and Judge.
Sure,
but 2 years ago, he'd have been closer, but he still would have lost.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think he was going to win it, but the team's success definitely doesn't hurt. Definitely doesn't hurt.
If it's close, yes. If it's close, then you know, like that can end up being the difference between the two. I still thought they should have factored in the fact that Cal Raleigh was a catcher. So like getting that kind of like positional value should like mean something in that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Getting 60 home runs out of a catcher is crazy.
Trash of the day.
All right, let's get to this one. This one takes us over to China. I don't know if you saw this floating around yesterday. So there's a video that went viral of 7 dogs, okay? So actual dogs, different breeds, traveling together, and social media users were kind of talking about this yesterday, but basically this came from the South China Morning Post that 7 dogs were walking along a busy highway in one of the provinces there. They were spotted. They were stolen by thieves working for a dog meat shop. This is a real thing.
Oh, no.
And were whisked away in a truck. Okay, so they were headed... You know, it's like
Straight
the movie Babe, but for pigs, but for dogs over there. Like, they were about to be done, okay? But the dogs escaped out of the truck. This is real. Returned home. They traveled 17 kilometers over 2 days in a pack. It's like right out of a movie.
I saw this story.
That sounds like a Disney movie.
There's going to be a Disney movie.
Yeah,
It has to be.
They walked back together and escaped. A group of dogs included a German Shepherd, which did get injured, a Corgi, a Golden Retriever, Labradors, Pekingese, I think it is, dogs. 7 dogs. There's video. I mean, this is not fake. And they're all just slowly walking back on the highway. Basically, like,
just a Corgi and a German Shepherd and a bunch of other dogs all kicking it together, huh?
Let's walk our way back home. We were about to be dead.
It's like 101 Dalmatians, but in a more extreme way, I would say. Yeah,
I kind of like it.
I
Look
do
at
too.
them overcoming the odds. It's like that evil clown owner of Air Bud. You know, that guy sucked. Now, in fairness, that was his dog, and that kid definitely stole it. But like, he wasn't a great owner.
Someone says Homeward Bound. Yeah, Homeward Bound is exactly right.
There's going to be a movie. It has to be now.
Have you ever had I had that cat missing for a month, as you remember?
Oh, yeah.
I had a cat missing for a month, and then the
neighbor
person in the
stole
neighbor
it.
tried to steal it.
Yeah.
I didn't steal anything.
Yeah.
They tried to steal my cat and be like, well, the kid kind of likes it. It's my cat.
Are you asking, have I ever had a dog that got lost or anything? Knock on wood. Thank goodness. No, I have not.
No?
The most ever, when my dog was a puppy, she got out. I had it run down the neighborhood or whatever.
Yeah, I've had a dog get out for like an afternoon.
That's different. But no, fortunately, I've never had that. That's like terrible. I feel awful for people that have had that where their dog, they never find their dog after. That's awful.
We were out of town one time, and like a friend of my brother's and I, we were living together at the time, went to just go feed and check on our dogs, my dog and his dog, and let them both accidentally out of the house. And they were gone for like a whole day while I was out of town. He's like, oh my God. I'm like, you better find my dog. This is crazy. They showed back up. They were hanging out together. It's fine. Like the two of them were like, sure, let's kick it.
At one point I bought it's like, the Find My iPhone thing, but they have the tags now that are essentially that for your dog.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So if your dog did get out,
you can get one of those.
As long as you set it up properly, you can know, oh wow, a mile down the road or whatever, like that. So that's a feature that's helped with some
Got
of this.
that microchip in some of them, but I don't have them like.
But the microchip only works once they find the dog. They do the scan. This is a tag your dog wears, and like you could GPS the dog.
Yeah, I'd probably put one of those on my.
You should.
My dog's not much of a runner.
Okay,
but still can't hurt.
Not quite to the cat extent, but Cody, because I think I've told the story. The Chihuahua that my sister found, took it back to the owner who was a police officer, and they say, you know what, you can go ahead and just keep the dog.
Man.
So was it the dog? Did the police officer just pick up the dog recently or something? That's weird.
I think it was their dog. Like they had a tag and everything, like a collar and everything like that. And
they just didn't want it anymore.
Well, I don't know.
It got away. They didn't even look.
I don't know if the dog had some sort of abuse issue, but it would shake violently at times, like when you got close to it and all those other things. But eventually, obviously, the dog came over. Fine.
Does your sister still have it?
My sister did. No, so my sister moved out for college. My parents took over, and the dog unfortunately passed away last year, I think. So, yeah, sad, of course. There were two dogs that I grew up with that passed away. A back-to-back year off of each other, which was tough.
Not fun.
Nope, not fun at all.
I'm dreading that day with my dog. She's getting up there in age.
12?
Soon to be 12 or 13.
Oh, wow.
I got her from a shelter when I was in Wichita, my first job. So that was 13 years. I got her.
Lived in Boise, lived in Houston, lived in Wichita, lived in Topeka.
Yeah, she's been all over.
Lived at your parents, lived at your apartment.
She's been everywhere with me, man. That's what's crazy about it. So yeah, I'm dreading that. She's doing fine. Knock on wood, she's doing great for her age. She moves around great and everything. She's not like walking slow or anything like that.
That's
but
good.
She's getting up there. That is the trash of the day here on Cody and Gold. All right, guys, up next, let's get to the Chiefs right after. Let's talk more about some of the rule changes that the league is taking a look at. And you and I briefly discussed Brett Veach and John Dorsey and their time. And there was an interesting write-up over on Arrowhead Pride we want to take a look at about their time. That's next here on Cody and Gold.
What's up, KC? It's Carter Jensen. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
Sex, intimacy, love. These three things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts, with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
When Kansas City storms roll through, hail and wind can damage your roof without you even realizing it. If your home was hit, call us at Century Roofing for a free inspection today. We handle every step with your insurance company, making the process stress-free and easy for you. For over 35 years and more than 35,000 roofs, we've been protecting Kansas City homes. Let us protect yours. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
The weather is changing, so that means spring is here and baseball season is right around the corner. FanDuel is letting you choose your own reward for opening week. Betting customizations that transform how you experience baseball. I can't remember the last time that optimism was this high heading into the baseball season, and you're not going to want to miss the action with America's #1 sportsbook app, FanDuel. Make your choice, and the reward will be ready on your next MLB bet. FanDuel is the home for home runs, exciting plays, and now that you can choose your own reward for opening week, baseball just got more exciting. The Royals are making the playoffs this year. You saw how they performed in the World Baseball Classic, so get in on the action early. Are you ready to play your game? Head to FanDuel.com/local to choose your reward for MLB's opening week. FanDuel is an official partner of MLB and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and total expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amounts. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Join Cody and Gold live this Friday, 10 to 2 at Rally House Independence for the Rally With Us MLB Opening Day event. Shop Royals gear. First 100 fans get up to 40% off. Plus, chances to win gift cards and home opener tickets courtesy of The Fan. Details at 965thefan.com.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Brought to you by Gravely Commercial Mowers. Gravely Mow the Difference sales event on now through March 29th. Your reputation matters. That's why so many landscape professionals choose Gravely. You can save up to 20% on Gravely Commercial Mowers during the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event going on now through the 29th. Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour here on Cody and Gold, brought to you by Leavenworth PD. Be a cop, be yourself, build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply today at leavenworthks.gov/police. We mentioned some rules that the NFL is considering. I want to start there, then we'll get into past general manager conversation that sparked again.
Or future possible running backs. I also saw that Mekhi Lemon's got a top 30 visit in Kansas City.
Yeah.
We can talk lots of different positions.
So the NFL's competition committee is going to meet next week at the league meeting. And one rule that is not going to be discussed, and suddenly just everybody's apparently cool with it now that the Eagles aren't good. I don't know, but there's going to be no discussion about the tush push. And it's going to be allowed next year. We all, I thought,
hate it.
Believed mid-season that it was done for good. They can't officiate it properly. That's been my big issue with it. And yet, somehow, all of a sudden, now nobody in the league cares about it. It does make it seem like it was at least those on the committee that were not happy because it was the Eagles. Like, if you're an Eagles fan, this should be your proof of, oh, see, they just didn't like it because we were good. It's weird now that the Eagles were not a Super Bowl team that suddenly those in league circles are like, yeah, you know what? Actually, we'll just run it back. What?
Who cares? Maybe that
I don't
wasn't
like
the
this.
reason they
I
were
thought
winning
this
the
was
whole time.
finally going away, so I'm not happy about that.
No, me either.
What about some of the other ones? One rule change they're looking at would allow the kicking team to declare an onside kick at any time during the game. Remember, you have to wait.
Crazy that you
have to wait till late.
Whenever you want.
Yeah, fine. It's not going to work anyway. Fine, go ahead. You want to do an onside kick in the third quarter? You go right ahead.
Your funeral. Yeah.
Go right ahead.
But also, like, declaring, I guess this is what kind of stinks about onside kicks versus the safety of it, is it was nice when you used to be able to surprise people with it. You know?
Yeah.
That was a
Declaring
strategy.
stinks,
That was a thing. Declaring it who the hell's going to declare it? Fine, yeah, you can change the rule, but I should be allowed to kick it. I should be allowed at any point. Now, if they add in the 4th and 20, and I can go for it, and they say they don't want to allow that at any point in the game,
but they're not considering that.
But they're
this
not even
year.
kicking that one around again.
This other one makes a lot of sense, as we know they want to continue to have kickoffs, and last year was a big step in the right direction when they changed the touchback rule. Well, they're discussing eliminating the kicking team's incentive to intentionally kick the ball out of bounds when kicking off from the 50. I think this is also another good step. This should be something that the league easily approves. Eliminating the ability, hey, kick the ball out of bounds. Well, let's not incentivize you to kick the ball out of bounds. We still want returns to happen. So I actually kind of like that if you're wanting some action. And then this one's more nerdy, but modify the kickoff alignment requirements for the receiving team in the setup zone. I don't really know exactly what alignment they're trying to change. I have no idea on that. And then lastly, for 1 year only, they want to allow the NFL officiating department to correct, this is the big one, clear and obvious misses by on-field officials that impact the game in the event of a work stoppage involving the game officials represented by the NFL
They
referees.
want sky judges in case they don't have referees. And if they have backup referees who do a horrible job, they want the ability of the person in New York to fix those mistakes.
This isn't.
So it
This
eliminates.
is not for if they have the normal officials.
Then
This one.
yeah, it
This
doesn't
is
exist.
just if they. It's trying to use
CYA.
leverage if they have a referee lockout. Basically, they want to admit that, like, all right, we know these officials are going to stink, but we want to be able to correct their mistakes.
Where in the world would they promote from college, or how does
Everywhere.
How does that?
Everywhere.
All the like truly as low. I mean. Someone even said there's a chance you could get somebody that was a
MEAC or
small conference college referee.
So no high school refs, obviously they wouldn't.
No,
do that.
don't think.
They went pretty far down the list the last time. Dude, it's a lot of people.
Well, no, I
A
know.
lot of
I know.
referees in an
I'm just
NFL
thinking
game.
that the random person that just reffed a Blue Valley North game or whatever is going to be reffing a Kansas City Chiefs
And
game.
that's why it
anyway.
ended so quick, and I think why the NFL's protecting
it
itself.
was really bad.
The last time this happened, the NFL got embarrassed so fast they had to cave to the referee
Here we go,
union
Cody.
because they got embarrassed.
Yeah, but Drew is right on this. I looked it up. So the search for replacement officials is focused mostly on lower level college conferences, but sources tell ESPN that they're casting a wide net. In 2012, the NFL used college, high school, and semi-pro officials. That lasted 110 days and ended, of course, in that Week 4 regular season. The
guy who
School
was doing-
officials, get ready.
Yeah.
Get ready. You might be called up to the big
I know
time.
you're doing Piper last Friday, but you got, the Packers this weekend. Good luck.
The upgrade would be. And can you imagine like just telling like your wife and kids like, hey, I'm going to be I'm not going to be able to be in town to go to Johnny's game on Saturday. Why not? I'm going to officiate the Packers-Bears game in Lambeau. Like that would just be crazy.
Someone was asking if there's any rules on what kind of cadence you can have. I don't know. No, I think you can use again. You can't do the big head nod to try to get the guy to jump,
Yeah.
but you can do the cadence just like Cody.
That actually is now the one that they teach in passing academies now.
Yeah, that's
is that one.
At the referee camp, when they're trying to teach them what it looks like to call a false start or jump off sides, they're going to use that cadence. I'm told for the high school refs here locally, anyway.
That's just gonna be the stock cadence on like a retro arcade football game.
They
That's
should
just
be
what
writing
they're
you a
gonna
check,
have.
Cody, for that. Then
It would be crazy though, because to be a high school ref, I mean, you still got to train and really work hard and all that other stuff. But Drew, if you spent the next year wanting to be a high school football ref,
sure,
you could be a high school football ref, right? You do the training, you go up the levels a little bit, you find the right fit, and you could be, in a Winnetonka game in your future, running a line judge, and then all of a sudden, you're trying to call pass interference you're trying to call Jamar Chase's push off. This is crazy, crazy. But also, that's why they want this. I think that they genuinely had to cave to the refs because of that Packers game. All watch it.
Of course.
It
was
was
on
the
Monday Night Football or
prime time embarrassment.
Where one
They
ref
didn't know
is
what they
calling
were
touchdown,
doing.
the other one is like this incomplete.
It was
Yeah,
over
dude, they
at
didn't
that
know
minute.
what the hell was going on. That was it.
That at that moment it was over. It was over. They had a cave. Yep.
But they got one guy in New York who's like, that's pass interference. We got to fix that immediately. Well, then, but also my problem is that's if you give a mouse a cookie. I don't want refs overturning calls in the booth all the time. I like the challenge system. I don't want a guy in New York constantly making decisions, slowing the game down, turning things around. I don't want that in the sport. And my fear is that if it got introduced because of a ref strike, that they would want to permanently allow the ability to fix it in New York, and I don't want that.
I agree because Cody, to your point, even if you're the teams, obviously is one thing, but if you're a fan, if it depends on how the reviewing process goes, but if all of a sudden it's a pass interference call like we saw with like Rams and Saints, and it's like, well, normally if it were the replacement refs, we would overturn this and actually say it was PI, but because it's not, we're going to let him go. I think that would, not that like them doing it is a CYA thing, but also it could end up burning them in the future because fans would actually just want it to continue with the permanent refs that they normally have, because if it's a call that's that big of a deal, then I think you'd want it overturned regardless of who the refs are.
It's like, I understand in concept. For the same reason we just mentioned. You're doing a high school game, and then all of a sudden you're doing Packers-Bears at Lambeau.
Yeah.
And you bungle a call bad, right? It's clearly pass interference. Shove the guy to the ground, pass interference, right? And he's not an experienced ref, so he's not supposed to get as many right as the guys who are this. The part that kills me is these refs continue to not want to be full-time because they want to be able to do freelance work everywhere. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry that you can't double dip.
Got to commit.
They pay you $160,000 a year. If Odyssey says, hey, Cody, I'm going to pay you $200,000 a year, but you're not allowed to work at other radio stations, I'm not allowed to work at other radio stations. I understand. Like, it is what it is. I'm sorry you don't get to also do college basketball and also get to do, like, I understand there's like other sports, and there's like, if they're saying we want you to be a full-time employee and we're going to pay you in line with that, I'm sorry you don't get to do other stuff. That's the hazard of the job, I guess, in a lot of ways. And the refs have been fighting that. The NFL wants you in like training seminars in March, figuring out what means what and what the new rules are and understanding it every nook and cranny, which is to us a good thing as a fan, I think.
There's a trickle-down issue, too, which is, as we've talked about, goes all the way down to the youth level with officiating and interactions with parents and discouraging people and these high school officials that have to deal with parents and coaches. And why would, and a lot of these guys are not making much money, of course, at the low level. And so the younger crop of officials, you don't have the same pool coming up as maybe you once did. And that's why I think the NFL did partner with the Big 12. They're trying to do some partnership with their officials to train them a little bit, because they don't have a great pipeline. Look at the officials every Sunday. Most of them are old. I mean, they did. Yeah. Yes. You're about trying to. We got guys running 40, 4.2 whatevers or whatever out there, and you got a 60-year-old, 55-year-old official trying to keep up and be able to officiate a game. That's a challenge, understandably so.
There are moments.
I'm not saying we got to have DK Metcalf officials, all five, all five officials, but like at the same time, we got to get some younger officials in there, but the pipeline isn't there.
There are
moments. Kind of hard to want to do it, man. Youth sports reference stinks.
No, I totally understand. There are moments though where I'm watching a game, and George, who has an eye doctor's appointment on Tuesday, is trying to figure out a call. And it's like, dude, you didn't see it because you can't see.
Yeah.
You're just too old.
Automatic LASIK is a part of your
your eyes didn't react in
time. There's that one Twitter account, and there is a national company that does LASIK, and they always tweet.
They do take advantage.
They always
of that,
tweet. They offer free LASIK to any official.
Who wants it? Smart.
Yeah,
that's just good advertisement. I got my kid's first game on Saturday. Do you think I'm going to have to see some parent yell at some referee?
You're officiating? You're
I'm
not coaching,
officiating.
right?
I'm not coaching. I decided it was better for me to see the lay of the land and the competitive level before I decide to.
So you're not coaching.
Well, I'm willing to coach.
You wanted to
the
scout
next
the
session,
environment,
but I've never been a part of this league. It was my first. I just didn't want to jump in and pretend like I knew what the level was.
You sound like a coach.
I need to know what the parents were.
You sound like a coach that used to coach, and they're trying to convince some legendary coach to come back. You're like, let me go see if there's any talent on this team or not first. That's what Cody wants to see, if there's any potential on this 8-year-old team or whatever, 7-year-olds.
Here's what the truth is that I don't know the parents on my kids' team, right? They just randomly assign them. I am terrified that it's going to be like 7 monsters, that they're all going to be that parent. And it's like, I'm not dealing with that. Just no, thank you.
As long as you're not
getting yelled at by 7 parents because you think your kid's Steph Curry.
As long as you're not playing your kid more than anybody else's, I think that would be the biggest. That would be the biggest part of it. Like he's got, not only is he playing, but he's got to be the point guard. He has to be the one to get as long as it's not that, I think most parents understand.
At that age, at 7, everyone plays the exact same number of minutes. It's not win or loss. It's like minutes now. If it's a 20-minute game, everybody gets their share, right? I don't think it's going to go outside of that. We'll see. But no, I'm not. I'm a little bit worried, Gold, that would be the case. Are you still a little bit worried that Jeremiah Love might end up a Chief?
No.
There's some reports that they don't like him at 4 or at 6 or 7 anymore.
Adam
you know?
Schefter was talking about this very thing, and he was predicting a team still in front of the Chiefs are going to draft him, so I'm not worried. And also, once they sign Kenneth Walker, that ship has sailed. But here is the latest on Jeremiah Love.
The draft is a month from now. There are a lot of teams that go back and forth on these things, and just because they're not in a spot on March 23rd doesn't mean they won't be in a different spot on April 23rd. So it's hard to say. Today, as we sit here today, my guess would be I don't see him going to Tennessee. I don't see him going to the Giants at number 5, although that would be an interesting spot, and I think he'd have a lot of support there. To me, a place that makes sense today, a month out, would be the Washington Commanders. They've added to their running back room. I could see Washington being interested in a player like Jeremiah Love. 7 would be the spot.
So 7 to Washington is the latest prediction from Adam Schefter. I saw Field Yates also had Jeremiah Love going to the Commanders. So that seems to be the team everybody's linking. Their running back room is what? Krosky Merritt. They signed Rashad White. So I don't know how
it's
you
pretty
feel
mediocre.
about that. Yeah. Jeremiah Love, I still think is going in the top 10, and he listed off the other teams that he doesn't think he's going to. Because I told you, I think Tennessee and the Giants make a lot of sense. He's saying no, that right now he doesn't think they're going there. So, look, the Chiefs should hope Jeremiah Love goes in front of them now. They went with Kenneth Walker. That's their path. If you believe the reporting, the Chiefs didn't think Love would be there at 9 anyway. So, yeah, I hope they're correct on that, especially now that you know they're not going to take him anyway with signing Kenneth Walker.
Were the Chiefs had his pro day yesterday?
Ooh, I don't know.
The Bengals were. I know that. I wonder if the –
I'm guessing every team
I'm sure,
Notre Dame's pro day.
I'm sure somebody –
a school like that, you have a representative every year. You always send someone to Notre Dame.
Obviously, yeah, it's not just Jeremiah Love's pro day, but –
it's just hard because, like, look, he's not going to be a top 30 visit for the Chiefs, and I still don't want them to draft Jeremiah Love. But I would say that to, like, every team, I guess, in the top 10. Like, if I were Washington, I wouldn't do that if I were them either. I wouldn't do it if I were the Giants or Tennessee or Cincinnati. Like, I have to be in the teams.
The only argument for the Giants doing and why I think their spot's different. So they have a quarterback on a rookie deal. Okay, they have Scatteraboo, but he's coming off a serious injury, so there's no guarantee there. Malik Neighbors is coming off a serious injury, but he's back. Their defensive line is legit. They got Harbaugh, much better coach, comes in as their head coach now. You have Love added into that. That's really tempting. Now, maybe you just say we're going to take a wide receiver and we're just going to
with Malik Neighbors.
And all of a sudden have Carnell Tate and Malik Neighbors or somebody. That's pretty cool too. But Jeremiah Love in that backfield with how they maybe want to run with Harbaugh, knowing what he did in Baltimore. Like, I actually think that does make a ton of sense. There were rumors that Giants were in on Kenneth Walker at one point, remember?
You might want to cover your bases, too, since Cam Scatteraboo doesn't he's out here joking about CTE and everything like that.
That was
incredible. Well, he looked stupid on that one, didn't he?
That was bad.
Yeah. He's also coming off of, a major injury.
He did.
Look, I'll say, this is the problem. This is why I think they'll be tempted by Jeremiah Love. If you look at it right now, the wide receiver room for the Washington Commanders and the running back room for the Commanders, for a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal, it ain't great.
Or a third-year quarterback now, right?
Yeah, but he's still a rookie. I meant rookie deal, not rookie quarterback. Third-year quarterback on a rookie deal. You still haven't had to pay him yet, and he's already, unfortunately for you, shown you enough that you're paying him no matter what. He can have a bad year, and he's still going to get a contract for the Commanders because it'll have a great year, an injured year, and a bad year. That's the kind of quarterback who still gets paid in the NFL. Yeah. They got Terry McLaurin, who's got to be on the plus side of 30 at this point, and no one else. Who they throwing to? De'Ami Brown or like you said, Krosky Merritt, who they like,
Luke McCaffrey
was a 5th or 6th round pick. That's not a good unit. Yeah. Like, you got to put something else around. I've said this about young quarterbacks all the time, and it would absolutely be my stance. Before I took a single defensive player, legitimately, before I even tried to be a good team in the NFL, I would put a million things around my young quarterback, and I would for damn sure know if they were good.
I'm with you. I think
finding out.
Dan Quinn, that defense was so bad for him, though. They got a brand new offensive coordinator. By the way, they also have, I forgot, they have Traylon Burks or whatever they picked up or whatever randomly. in their wide receiver room. So I think they're going to go offense, but someone did say on the text line, in this miracle scenario that Jordan Love is there at pick 29, would you take him?
Or Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah, yeah. Who did I say?
You said Jordan.
Jordan Love.
That'd
Jeremiah,
be weird.
yeah, that'd be weird. Jeremiah Love, yeah, if he's there at 29, then sure, take him because the money
He's
will
not
be
going to be there. at
He's
29.
not, I mean, yeah, we're wasting our time with that. But yes.
Love and Walker would rank where amongst NFL backfields?
Yeah, you got him at 29.
2, 3? I mean, it's top 5 for
I
sure.
would say
wouldn't
top
it?
5, yeah.
If Love and
Yeah,
Walker,
it would only be
I would
behind,
say top
honestly,
5.
only because of the number one
Bijan.
name. It would only be behind because of the weight you would give to the top. It'd be behind Bijan and Saquon. That's it. I mean, it'd be a third
maybe
best.
Christian McCaffrey.
I think it'd be the third best running back group in football, easily.
Jameer Gibbs, I know that he doesn't have Montgomery. He's got Pacheco.
Yeah, but they would have
still,
two guys
Jameer Gibbs is that good. Yeah.
He's not going to. He's not going to be there. But by the
I
way,
still
the
think
answer
Pacheco's going to have a good year for the Lions.
he should. His metrics were so bad last year, but I think in that role he could have success.
His yards per carry probably still be the same, but that man is going to get he might get fed the ball at like the 2-yard line.
I hope when
A lot of
Binkley's
touchdowns.
Yeah.
I hope when
Yeah.
Binkley's in tomorrow, he'll do a full breakdown because most of the time I just brush off the idea of top 30 visits because they're not. In the end, it doesn't mean this. The Chiefs do draft an unusually high number of players off of their top 30 visits. And I saw today that at least one report saying that Mekhi Lemon was on that list.
Yeah,
But I'm
And
guessing
he
so
should
is
be.
Carnell Tate and so is Jordan Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
I would guess that they're also getting top 30 visits. When you're picking 9, use all your top 30 visits on someone you might take at 9. You might take it 29. Some years,
Yeah.
Drew, they might talk to somebody they're thinking about taking in the 4th. No, not this year. You got 3 picks in the top 40. You got to be talking to people who are going in the top 40 this year. All 30 of those visits need to be focused on players that you have a legitimate shot at taking somewhere in that, upper end potential. Have you decided? I haven't asked you yet. Have you decided which wide receiver you like the best if they took one at 9?
I
Do you have
haven't.
a lean?
Lean would be Carnell Tate still.
Okay.
My worry with Tyson is the injury history, and I don't think the Chiefs will draft him because of that. We've talked a lot about, hey, if they do, it means they trust their medical staff, and that has been a good move for them. But I don't know if the Chiefs want to draft someone with that injury profile. I mean, what is it? Is it 3 or 4 different injuries that he's had? What was that? Collarbone, shoulder is the other one. I mean, he just has been banged up throughout his entire NFL career. Am I spending a top 10 pick on that player? That would be my only hesitation on him. If they traded down and he was still there, then that's a different conversation. But he had here it is, torn ACL, MCL, PCL in 2022, hamstring injury last year, broken collarbone in 2024. So that's my only hesitation with Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I get the fear of it. I think you have to take either and I saw somebody like this always I always get interested in the metrics that people use is like a measurement of success. Like somebody did like research in the last 10 years of odds are going to be like a star wide receiver in the NFL and the age in which you first like burst onto the scene. Like you were a 1,000-yard guy and you mattered in college. Turns out the younger you are and the quicker you are as a star, the more likely you are to be a star future in the NFL. And so for this year's draft, that would be Carnell Tate, who is essentially just immediately good. Like 18, 19 years old and good immediately versus the guys who aren't good until they're 21 or 22 or take longer to develop. And
the biggest
Ohio
question
State has such a good
I was going to say the biggest question for me, not that Carnell Tate is not going to be good or anything like that, but he's never been a number 1 at all. Carnell Tate has never been a number 1. So I think that would be my big question is, do you think that he's capable of being the number 1 wide receiver for you after at Ohio State? He was the number 2, or he was the number 3 to Jackson Smith-Njigba and Jeremiah Smith. And then he was the number 2 to Jeremiah Smith. So I that would be the only thing that I would question a little bit before taking him at 9. But if you believe in him, then sure.
This is the problem teams have with pass rushers, too. It's like the same thing that's going on at Texas Tech. Is Jeremiah Smith making Carnell Tate look good, or is Carnell Tate making Jeremiah Smith look good? Are they both making each other look good? This was the Clyde Edwards-Helaire issue at LSU. Turns out everyone on that team was a star, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire might have had the easiest job on planet Earth. But at the time, we didn't know because he looked so good. Was he just great because of that? Or was he great because Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson were running routes?
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, there was questions. Was Justin Jefferson making Jamar Chase look good? Was Jamar Chase making... Turns out they were both just awesome.
Yeah.
But more often than not, it does land in the category of one person was covering someone's ass. And you didn't realize that this whole time that they weren't quite as good as they thought. David Bailey wasn't quite as good as we thought, or the other, like
the A&M pass rushers is a good one. Like Shamar Stewart versus other guy on A&M's line versus Nick Scorin, who was picked by the Panthers. Those guys. There's a plus, or even
you just don't know sometimes.
Bain and Mesidor. Bain talks about that all the time. Well, Mesidor had the better year, but Bain was really good. Like them obviously going off each other and evaluating which one should we take, especially when you're talking top 10 overall pick, it makes it a little bit tougher, I would say.
By the way, on Friday, we're expected to have Chiefs running back Kenneth Walker on the show.
Sure.
We're excited to chat with him. We've never had that opportunity, so looking forward to the Chiefs' top free agent signee, Kenneth Walker. Time to be determined. We think that'll be maybe around noon on Friday. We'll obviously let you guys know, but looking forward to that, man.
Yeah, really looking forward to talking to Kenneth Walker. Obviously a huge and their single biggest off-season addition. I did see Adam Schefter say that he thinks next year is going to be another big jump at running back pay. Because of the way the cap's been going, the way center and tight end have taken a big leap. Their running back is probably next. So maybe they got in under the gun with a guy like Kenneth Walker. Don't forget also on Friday, you can join us at Rally House. Rally with us for MLB opening day. Starts at 10 o'clock. We'll be there in Independence. That's 18701 East 39th Street. 4 $100 Rally House gift cards to give away to 4 lucky customers. 2 opening day tickets. Courtesy of 96.5 The Fan. Plus, the first 100 customers through the door will receive a Rally House opening day scratcher ticket to receive up to 40% off their next MLB purchase. And it's just a great place for Royals gear, on-field hats, jerseys, apparel, straight from the source. So level up your fandom at one of the local stores or at rallyhouse.com. But come see us, Gold, Friday at Rally House in Independence. You and I have been out, man. We were at a bar last Thursday and Friday for some college basketball.
They're sending us everywhere.
We're gonna be in Pittsburgh for the draft.
Let's go.
I've never covered a draft before. Don't even know. You're gonna have to. You've covered one, right?
I did back in the Kansas City one. Obviously we all were kind of part of that, but
yeah,
we
but
were
not
in a different
in the
role.
normal coverage.
Different role. And the one I actually covered was in Nashville, and that was on Broadway Street. Was an unbelievable scene.
Pittsburgh says they're expecting 700,000 people, so it's not going to be. It's
sure
not
it'll
a
be
big,
great.
As
long as the weather is good that weekend, we'll be solid. And so we're going to be broadcasting from PNC Park too, so that'll be fun during the days.
That's what we're told. We only do what we're told,
That's right.
We miss the things, like we have our big company meeting, but those things are usually scheduled while Alex and I are on the show. So we have to get the rundown from someone like Rob. Should we send Drew down next time and have him
just have a live feed? We'll just cut in randomly.
Feed?
We'll just cut in
like
randomly.
The way we cover a press conference sometimes. We'll just have a live feed downstairs and what Odyssey Corporate has to say.
I'm sure they'll love that.
Cluster meeting, We don't ever make those. I made one. They did one at like 9 o'clock once, and I made one. I think in the entire time I worked here. Do you think they put it on tape?
No.
Go back and watch it later?
No. We just got to get the cliff notes.
Do you think we're all getting raises?
Yeah, that's
what
exactly.
they told us?
That would be great.
That's exactly what was announced this morning.
Drew said that would be great. Sure.
I mean, yeah.
That was exactly what the meeting was about.
You guys would send me down there with a pad and paper, to raise my hand and ask questions.
Absolutely.
That you guys might have.
That's exactly how it would play out.
I asked Drew earlier today if I gave him Bill Self's number, would he text him and ask him if he's retiring?
Oh, that'll work. Yeah, he'll get right back to you. Get right back.
As a matter of fact,
he got back to Gary Bedore.
As a matter of fact, but before you text Gary, why don't you join the show?
Yeah.
Bill, there's a lot of rumors floating out. Why don't you just get that stuff out there? You want to come on the show today? Talk a little bit about your future?
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll get right on that.
Okay. Just checking.
Mm-hmm.
He called it no news, all BS, bad info. That's what he told Gary Bedore earlier.
And up next, we're going to talk about what Hubert Davis leaving North Carolina maybe means for KU and for Bill Self, and a couple things that have to go right in order for the Royals to win the AL Central.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strahm from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
This baseball season, FanDuel is letting you choose your own reward for opening week. Betting customizations that transform how you experience the game. You can make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next MLB bet. So FanDuel is the home of home runs. Now that you can choose your own reward for opening week, baseball just got more exciting. We got a game tonight. Yankees, Giants to open up this entire baseball season. Maybe you want to bet on Aaron Judge to hit a home run, maybe 2 home runs tonight. You can do that over at FanDuel. So if you're ready to play your game, head to FanDuel.com/local to choose your reward for MLB's opening week. FanDuel is an official partner of the MLB, and FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri, opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling the heat? Don't sweat it. Turn to Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling. With temperatures rising, now's the time to make sure your AC is ready to keep you cool. Whether it's your home or your business, Comfort Systems services both residential and commercial systems across the Kansas City area. Call today for a fast tune-up, repair, or a system upgrade so you can stay cool all summer long. Family owned and operated since 1990, comforting people is what we do. Comfort Systems is right for you. MyComfortSystems.com.
The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation are teaming up with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City to recognize outstanding high school sports coaches through the Blue KC Coaches with Character program. From April to September, we'll recognize 6 coaches as a Blue KC Coach with Character. Each honoree will receive a VIP package that includes tickets to a Royals game and more. Be part of honoring our high school coaches whose service is making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Just go to bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character to nominate today.
Hey guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money. A lot. And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, if you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
DQ presents the Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve, plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
Who says vaping is safer than cigarettes? Science does not support that belief. Vapes can contain a variety of chemicals, flavoring agents, cancer-causing elements, and other harmful substances. High levels of nicotine in some vapes can be more likely to lead to addiction, and chemical ingredients are not always listed accurately on vaping packages. Vaping can also damage your DNA, your heart, your lungs, and even your smile. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
Sponsored by Underwriters Laboratories.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strom from the Kansas City Royals. Don't miss Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. What's Trending is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor, all things parking lot.
Number one on what's trending, something we're going to talk more about here in just a bit, is Bill Self and his future at KU. There is a update from Gary Bedore over the Kansas City Star, longtime beat writer covering the Jayhawks. He tweeted out, Bill Self tells me as of now there's no news to report regarding his decision. In fact, he told me BS, bad info, referring to some comments out there. That's as of now from the head coach. That's what Gary Bedore passed along from the horse's mouth there. Also, Bill Self telling him there's no time frame for a decision at this time. But as we're going to discuss after what's trending, there is a time frame, though. I mean, if we're being honest, I mean, April 7th is when the portal opens up. So, I mean, there is a time frame.
I would think so. We can talk more about it here in just a second, as again, that job becomes open as well. Next up on What's Trending, MLB opening night is tonight. Yankees and Giants will kick off the baseball season. The Royals opening day roster is set at now 26 members. Eli Morgan was optioned to AAA. Drew Waters was DFA'd by the Royals. And then Stephen Kolek, Michael Massey, and James MacArthur were all placed on the 15-day injured list, retroactive to the 22nd. But they're officially at 22 members on the team. You can see the full roster at Royals.com or over on their social media channels. But yeah, Royals opening day roster set, and baseball starts up tonight.
Yeah, Yankees, Giants, looking forward to that. Elsewhere in college basketball, Boston Celtics president of basketball operations, Brad Stevens, has removed his name from consideration for the Tar Heels job. That, of course, is opened up after Hubert Davis was let go yesterday by North Carolina. So if you thought Brad Stevens was leaving his nice cushy gig with the Celtics, doesn't look like that's happening. Yeah,
they're interested in Billy Donovan, according to reports.
Yeah.
Again, we'll talk more about that coming up in just a minute. Next up on What Trending, Butler has hired Ronald Norred as their next men's head basketball coach. Obviously, the former Butler Bulldog played for the team during that stretch. Recently, an assistant in the NBA will take on the head job over there at Butler.
Shout out to the Ronalds.
Over for Thad Matta, who you should like. You want to talk about like sometimes like if you don't win a title, how you just don't get remembered. Thad Matta, like he went to 3 Final Fours in 4 years.
Yeah,
he's very good.
Some would say you might even call him
Boss El Jefe.
You might.
I like El Jefe. You don't like that for a title?
I mean,
for Boss?
Speck said he kind of liked it.
Yeah, he did. He said it.
Yeah, he told us today.
He said it sounded like a sign of respect.
Uh-huh.
The boss, El Jefe.
It makes you, I feel like a phrase like, a title like El Jefe makes you feel like you're even more important than just a boss. like
or you're leading a cartel.
Yeah.
Well, yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's side.
We'll talk about some of the names you guys are mentioning, by the way, for the Kansas job. Some of the ones you mentioned, I don't think make any sense at all.
Elsewhere, the NBA's Board of Governors has approved a vote for the league to explore bids and applicants for expansion teams exclusively in Vegas and Seattle. Bidding process expected to lead to offers in the $7 to $10 billion range for each team. Yeah.
Be interesting to see which groups come ahead. You're going to see a lot of star power. Yeah,
Shaq,
don't be surprised, like,
LeBron.
well, Travis Kelce and, like, Shaq and, like, LeBron technically can't
he might retire if it means
be
he
a
gets
part of the ownership group yet, but
not yet.
He
but
said he doesn't want to, but
he can join that group later.
Yeah, you're gonna see some big name celebrities and some big name athletes as a part of these ownership groups as a way to drum up interest for them. Next up on What's Trending, Mekhi Lemon officially, according to reports, will have a top 30 visit scheduled with the Chiefs. We're starting to get some of those leak out here and there. We'll let you know as we kind of keep track of it. The Chiefs have drafted, I think, a top 30 visit guy for the last 5 years. Not always in the first round, but they consistently do pluck guys off of that list.
That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold.
That's what's trending, of course, as you mentioned, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor, all things parking lot.
Here in 25 minutes, we'll talk some Royals baseball with Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. As you pointed out, opening day roster is out. We'll discuss that, including a few of the injury notes. Michael Massey going to start the season on the IL. We'll get into that with Josh Vernier in just a bit. All right, more on college hoops, and I mentioned the update from Gary Bedore over at the Star in regards to Bill Self and his future. It's an update, but again, it still doesn't tell you that everything is good now either. He says as of now there's no new news to report or no news to report, and called it BS and bad info in terms of some of the comments that are out there. That's not saying, like, he didn't tell Gary, I'm coming back. He didn't tell Gary, in fact, I'm leaning in a different direction. It's just that I'm not ready to tell you guys news yet. So anything,
and there is no news yet. So
any news that's
wrong.
out there is not accurate. That's all that means. This does not mean that it's more likely now that Bill Self is coming back or not coming back. It's just notable that there was some speculation earlier this morning that today could be a day that he announced his retirement. It doesn't sound like that's now going to be the case, at least today. Doesn't mean he will never announce that in the next couple days or next week, but that was the update from Gary. I still think the North Carolina job opening up, and maybe if Billy Donovan is their target, it doesn't matter. But if you're Kansas, your opening happening while North Carolina is opening up as well is not what you want. It's not an ideal scenario. And even for North Carolina, having KU potentially open up at the same time is not.
Yeah, it works both ways.
Both teams and both programs, I should say, potentially could have the same candidate pool if you don't buy into the report about Billy Donovan. And I don't think Billy Donovan would be a candidate at Kansas, personally anyway. So we'll see. I think it's obvious who the top names would be that you would have to at least reach out to if you're Travis Goff, the KU athletic director, if in fact the job opens up. Like at the top of the list is somebody like Dusty May at Michigan, Tommy Lloyd at Arizona. Is there an argument to be made that if you're Tommy Lloyd, why leave Arizona? Absolutely. I don't know why he would necessarily leave. And I love Kansas. I think it's the best job in the country. And you're saying, well, then there's your reason. Yeah, but at Arizona, he might win a national title this year. And he can get a bump in pay by even leveraging KU.
Oh, he can get a nice bump in pay, yeah.
He's also in the same conference and just won that same conference. It's not Kansas, but Arizona is not far off. Michigan is a little bit different. I think that Dusty May can win a title at Michigan, but it is not as comparable to Kansas as Arizona might be comparable to Kansas. And so that's the only difference between the two. With me, I would say leaving Michigan is easier to do than leaving Arizona.
I guess, but Arizona's not a blue blood either. They got one single title in their entire program's history.
Historically, they're just a better basketball program.
They are, and they had and I think, but in a lot of ways, it's still clinging to what we think of them as. Because in our youth, they were one of the dogs, right? They were one of the 10 programs you thought of. They weren't that for a stretch of time, and now they're obviously re-entering that conversation as a part of it. But I mean, hell, they missed 3 of 5 tournaments with the coach before this one. So it's not or maybe a couple terms for, I'm thinking now Michigan on the other end. I understand Arizona's got a little more cachet, at least on that end. And look, NIL's changed a lot. With these coaching openings, and then we can talk about some of the names at Kansas, I don't think we know the answer yet. Had you told me 10 years ago that Kurt Cignetti wouldn't take pretty much any other big-time job besides Indiana, I would have called you nuts in football. Indiana? Right. If the second Alabama calls, he'd be gone. LSU, Florida, he'd be gone. That's the way it used to work. And in college basketball, I would have felt similarly about Kansas, Duke, North Carolina. Those are the jobs that you just leave for. NIL's changed things a little bit. It's even the playing field where at least you can say, in the long run, is it easier for me to win? Not at Michigan, but at Michigan because I'm already here doing things, right? I think if both things, if you were at FAU, and Michigan offered and Kansas offered, you take Kansas 100 times out of 100.
Of course.
But because you're already winning or doing some things at Michigan or Arizona, is it easier to just maintain status quo or to go somewhere else? I get the argument. I still think you call those people. And I'd still be surprised if, I'd still be tempted if I were Dusty May. I was at FAU 2 years ago. And now Kansas basketball's offering me the job. And now what? Michigan's just good enough? I don't think so.
I agree. I think Tommy Lloyd at Arizona is trickier. TJ Otzelberg at Iowa State.
I think he'd take the job in a second if he got offered it.
He would be on the list, and I don't know why he would not want to bump over to Kansas from Iowa State. That would make no sense to me. There's other names that are out there that are not as realistic. Yes, you can make sure that somebody like Dan Hurley tells you no. Okay, back channel that. Fine. I don't think he's leaving UConn anyway. I also don't know if he's a great fit at Kansas. You could say, what do you mean? He's won national titles. He's a great fit. I just don't know if that personality plays as well.
On the East Coast?
And the East Coast, it works a little bit better than in the Midwest.
Middle of the country? Yeah, sure.
So that's just my personal opinion. I don't know. People could have a different thought on that. But that's where I'm at with it. Jock Vaughn, of course, is a candidate if, in fact, the job opens up. He's already on the staff. We all know the legacy tied to the university, NBA experience and all that. I don't think it would be a disaster, but he's not my first or second or third choice is all I would say. Yeah, that's just me. I would be worried about the college aspect of it, which is the other names we mentioned. I know that TJ Otzelberger can build up a program and get Iowa State to being a Final Four national title contender. That's what they are right this second, heading into the Sweet 16. I've seen them do it. I've seen Dusty May do it with Michigan. He's doing it right now. Obviously, Tommy Lloyd at Arizona. It doesn't mean that Jacques Vaughn wouldn't work out, but I also am terrified that it could be the Hubert Davis situation, that it could be Mike Woodson at Indiana.
Yeah. I mean, you can go to the football. Barry Odom, right, at Missouri. Like, sometimes it just goes south.
I'm just talking more like the blue blood, like historical.
And look, in Shire's case, it went fine. Yeah. Like, it's not that it can't go well or can't go the other side. I do wonder if the name we've mentioned the least should be the one that probably most closely resembles the hire they made when they hired Bill Self, which is Todd Golden. He is Bill Self's age when he got hired by Kansas. He's at a different power program, similar to, like, Bill Self was in Illinois. Like, I think that they're probably tempted by the idea of, we'd like a coach that does this in a perfect world for the next 20 years at Kansas, the way we got the run out of, not 20 years, but the way we got the run out of Roy Williams and the way we got the run out of Bill Self. Like, they should be looking in somebody, because they hired young with Bill Self. He was young and successful. And I'm not saying Otzelberger and Dusty May are old. They're both under 50 probably.
48.
But they're older than Bill Self was when he was hired at Kansas. I got to say, Jacques Vaughn would be like 10th on my list.
He's not that low. I think you'd be
For
surprised. Yeah, I don't think he's that low, but he's not in the top 3 or 4 for me at all.
Like, he'd be behind
Can
all the guys.
you name me 9 coaches, legitimate candidates that legitimate candidates?
Stevens probably isn't a legitimate candidate, but he would be at least a call I made, right? Hurley, Lloyd, Golden, all the guys you just mentioned. Dusty May, I'd make all those calls first before I got to Jacques Vaughn. I'm even probably a little more tentative on Otzelberger, but he would be on my list. I know this is going to sound crazy because they don't like the style of it. I'm not so sure I wouldn't prefer McCollum to Jacques Vaughn. Like, it's
fine.
I would consider
he's on
him.
the list. Ben McCollum's on the list, but again, that's still only 6 or 7 names. My point. So I don't think he's probably quite as low as you would think. But yeah, McCollum would be the only question with him. I think it was Gary Parrish that was speculating. He was saying that a lot of the thought around Ben McCollum and his quick rise is that he's going to do what Brad Stevens did. That he's a year or two, NBA teams are going to offer him a job in the NBA, and that he would jump there. That's just what one person is saying. But Gary Parrish has been doing this a very long time.
I also think that if he takes the job at Kansas, that's just not the path anymore. But
that would be the concern, is that he takes that and then he gets an opportunity in the NBA and he's like, and he jumps. I know you would say, well, why would you leave? But hell, even during Bill's tenure, people speculated
all the time
for years, not in the last 5+ years, but going earlier in his tenure, people always speculate he was going to go take the Spurs job when Popovich retired. Now, Greg Popovich never retired until recently, unfortunately, with his own health problems.
Yeah.
Which is terrible. But that was always the speculation when you're a young college coach or younger, and you're having success, people are always going to talk about you potentially going to the NBA. That's always a thing. I mean, Dan Hurley, the Lakers thing was like a year or two ago. Remember that whole, is he considering the Lakers job? Brad Stevens ultimately did it. Billy Donovan did it. We can go on and on and on. There's Calipari was once there, but also he was rumored for years why he was at Kentucky to leave again.
I know that if you're Kansas, do you call Cal?
No.
So similar to what he talked about with Dan Hurley, I really just don't think the personality fit makes sense.
Also, I don't think Cal's leaving Arkansas. I think Cal's going to finish in Arkansas.
I don't
he's
think
staying at Arkansas.
I don't
He's
think
good
he
now.
would either. But is it a phone call?
I don't think so. Not with Cal.
Because you're competing with Tyson Foods, obviously. You're competing with that, obviously, if you're KU.
It's tough to get a coach that good, but it's also just not like, sometimes it's like fit and style and all that stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Because I saw, I think it was a couple people in the morning show, and we've seen 4 texts today about it, Fred Hoiberg. And Fred Hoiberg, from a stylistic point, I would say, you know what? He's made it work in the Big 12. He's now made it work at Nebraska, a historically bad basketball program. He has him in a Sweet 16. That guy's got a pacemaker.
He's got his own health issues.
And that's not to just say he can't coach, because obviously he's at Nebraska, but if you're Kansas, it's like jumping back in those waters to a coach in his 50s who's had health issues. Let's say Bill Self retires. We know that if he does retire, it'll be partially because of health. It doesn't really fit. And
would you rather have, if I give you the name we haven't brought up yet, today, Nate Oates at Alabama. He's on the list too.
I'm considering him before Jacques Vaughn.
I'd like him before Jacques Vaughn too. There's another one.
I would as well, and I understand there's some baggage with Nate Oates. Depending on how you feel, he handled the Alabama, one of the players being involved in a murder investigation.
One is his other one might be a drug kingpin this year.
Yeah. That is oddly enough, like that one, the fact that one of his players was selling weed, that is way less concerning to me than the other situation.
It's them piled together.
Fine.
If it was a one-off, you're right. I wouldn't care as much.
Nate Oates, I mean, what he's doing at Alabama, he obviously came over from Buffalo or whatever, and then looking at one of Nate Oates' assistants that's now having success as well, I would think, I would certainly think that Nate Oates would have to be, I don't know what order, but he's getting a phone call. His agent is. Make him say no as well.
The one thing that I think we're not talking about this, and probably is not the guy for KU, but in terms of recent success where he's flipped the program quickly, is Vandy, Mark Byington.
No, he's not.
I know that he's not going to be the KU job, obviously, but I think in terms of like coaches that are overachieving in a quick manner, more so, or like I think you can fit him into that Fred Hoiberg sort of pool of guys as Mark Byington.
It's been too long now. Does anybody remember the other names that were mentioned with Bill Self?
I honestly thought
years ago now.
My recollection, because much
seemed like it was Self immediately.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think he was the name. That was it. It was Kansas. Roy's leaving, and he was the hot young coach.
He come from Tulsa where he had success.
It was like a no-brainer.
He was in Illinois where he had success, and they were like, Bill Self's our guy. And it was just like a no-questioner. It did feel that way at the time. It's been so long now. I got to remember what I was thinking about the hire when I was a teenager.
I wonder if
you were a kid.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
I don't think.
Remember, KU. It was an interim athletic director that made the hire. KU did not have a full-time AD making the hire for Bill Self. That was interim AD.
Good for him.
I also don't think this guy would be called. He might get a phone call, I guess, if it got to that point. But Jay Wright?
I think he's just done coaching.
I think he's done coaching too.
Yeah.
But I
if
wonder
this
if
was 7 years ago, I think he would have been the first.
Oh,
Jay Wright's 64.
If he was still at Villanova, then yes.
I think they got to go like this. Goes back to like the way we talked about this, the way the Steelers hire head coaches. I don't know why their initial instinct as a program would not be youngest and best, as in who's the person who has a 4 in front of their number or a 3 in front of their number as age, who's the best at what they're doing right now, and we're going to let this thing goes right, we're good for another 25 years. Like, that's been their motive. Like, they hired Roy Williams as an assistant when they hired him off of North Carolina. He was young, too.
I think times have
Bill
changed
Self was
a bit,
young,
though.
too,
I think times have changed a bit. No matter who they hire, I don't think your expectation should be that guy's coaching for 20 years. I don't care how old the coach is. You know what I mean? I just don't think that's where we're at in college basketball anymore. With what's required. This is also why they need to have a GM. If in fact Bill Self retires or doesn't retire, they need to have a GM around the program.
When do you think he'll make a decision by? Gary Bedore says no timetable on a decision. That's straight from Bill Self, so we know where that information's coming from. When do you think Bill Self? What's the over/under? Tuesday? A week from Tuesday?
I'll take the under on Tuesday.
Okay, so you think it's pretty quick. Drew, how long do you think Bill Self makes an announcement on this?
I think it's this weekend.
So under as well.
So you take the under on Tuesday. I feel like I'm right there.
I don't
think it's going to be like Monday.
He's not going to put, based on everything, he's not going to put them in a spot where they're right up against the portal. Because unless they're just promoting, Jacques Vaughn in this scenario, you got to go hire the coach and then still have your staff and everything ready to go for the portal on top of it.
Let's just, because it is fun to discuss. We've talked about this all the time. Let's say Kansas hires Dan Hurley. Certainly got the resume.
Mm-hmm.
You dislike Dan Hurley.
Yeah.
You think he's a jerk.
Yeah.
What's the move? He's your jerk now?
Is he winning games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this case, he's winning games. He's your jerk now?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, dude, we've talked about this on the show a million times. Everyone has an a-hole in their friend group, and when he's inside your group, he's your guy because he's your jerk.
Yeah.
You accept him for being a jerk because he's a part of the friend group. You can accept exactly one for whatever it's worth. Nobody has like 5 of them in the group because then eventually you all just disband. But
yeah, it's not going to happen. But yeah, of course I would embrace. Yeah, I would embrace. Yeah, absolutely.
If we went to
not Mick Cronin though, I can tell you that.
You draw the line.
I can tell you that. I don't care what on earth. I don't have to worry about that ever happening either. But no, that's one person. I don't care. No, I will be adamantly against the entire team.
I mean, if we went to your criteria, Cody,
adamantly against the entire
Cody, if we went to your criteria of the 3 or 4 in front of their name, there's a lot. You have to take out a vast majority. Like you're down to Otzelberger, Todd Golden, who has a little bit of a checkered
Dusty
past
May's
with
under
Title
50.
IX stuff. Dusty May, that's it. And I'm looking at guys that are in the Sweet 16 right now. So, I mean, Hoiberg, I guess you throw into that list. I think he's still got the 4.
No, he's 5. He's 53.
Is he 50? Okay, so
And
Tommy.
we just said he has a pacemaker.
Tommy Lloyd
58.
Tommy Lloyd's over 50.
Yeah.
Brad Underwood over 50.
Brad Underwood, that was the name.
Painter over. Like if you're looking at just names that are in that, if you're looking at names that currently still have teams in the tournament, you're stuck with Dusty May and TJ Otzelberger
I think
essentially.
I got to be honest. At Kansas, I think you can take the swing. I really don't like the idea of, like, I think Gold mentioned this. Like, there are definitely worse hires they can make than, maybe it was before the show. I can't remember now. There are definitely worse hires than you can make than, like, a guy like Matt Painter, who would certainly just do a fine job at Kansas. It's not like the team would be bad. It's not like they would miss the tournament. At Kansas, you can afford the swing. You don't have to just get to, like,
yeah, I don't want Matt
because,
Painter.
like, Dusty May.
I don't want Matt Painter.
No, I know, but, like, not him. I just meant, like, coaches like that.
Yeah.
Dusty May, right, in a lot of ways is still a risk. 2 years ago, he was coaching Florida Atlantic. Like, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. He was at a really small school. That still, to me, is still like a swing versus
he's more of a risk
guy who's been like Fred Hoiberg, guy who's been doing it for 20 years, been in multiple big programs. If Fred Hoiberg was the coach of Kansas tomorrow, they would certainly be a stabilizing force inside the Big 12. They would not be a bad program. They'd be a good program. But, like, why not go for the upper end potential is, I guess.
Yeah, the upper end potential is what you, and like Matt Painter is one of the best coaches that we've seen in college basketball, just from the standpoint of the last 2 decades. Been very good at Purdue, but never won the national title. Tom Izzo, in a way, is kind of the same way outside if he did win a national title. Their floor, the floor is going to be very high. But if you want to go for a ceiling guy, then you're going to, then you go for the person that's a little bit younger, but
tomorrow, I guess, when you're out
more
tomorrow,
of a risk with the guys that are younger, obviously.
You're out tomorrow, but maybe tomorrow. Tonight, I will go. I'll put my definitive top 5 list together. I'll put my.
I'll tell you, mine is 1 and 2 would be May and Golden if I were Kansas. Those would be the top 2 hires I think they could make.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. I mean, those are names on the list for sure.
Yeah. They should be on your list somewhere.
Absolutely.
Maybe one of them doesn't hit the top 5, but I imagine they're near it.
May and Lloyd are 1 and 2.
That's pretty close. Now, I am curious for your Jacques Vaughn going to make your top 5? Can I get a teaser
I don't know.
on that?
I don't know. I don't think he's going to.
Fringe.
I don't think he'll be in the top 5 of coaches I would want to try to hire first.
But it'd be harder for you if this was like a player, because like Jacques Vaughn, if you're like 10 years
if
older,
you're Bob's age,
he's like a Kansas hero too.
Yeah.
Like this would be like Nick Collison getting the job. Who's your childhood favorite? Pierce Collison?
I mean,
who was like the kid of your, like the player of your youth?
Wayne Simeon was a big part of that.
Wayne Simeon.
He would have been
Mario
part of that
Chalmers.
group. I mean, Chalmers obviously hit the shot in the
Yeah.
But I was in high school or in getting ready to go to college at that point in time.
As much as people have mentioned like the Washburn,
Kirk Heinrich was probably more of like me as a 14-year-old, 13-year-old kid or whatever would have been Kirk Heinrich and those KU teams.
Bring Perry Ellis back,
I'm
Wayne
shocked.
Simeon.
I'm shocked based on the number of people who've mentioned the Washburn head coach that somebody hasn't
Brett
suggested
Ballard,
like
former KU guy. He's with all due respect to him, he's doing a great job. He deserves another opportunity. He's not going from Washburn to Kansas, okay?
Be a
Come on now.
jump.
Ben McCollum, who should be on the list, by the way, went from Northwest Missouri State to Drake, then to Iowa, and we're talking about him maybe being a candidate. You're not hiring at Kansas somebody from Washburn, with all due respect to the Ichabods, okay?
Yeah, you remember, good. You get a little respect for knowing they'll let you off the hook for that. That's what I was getting ready to joke. I'm surprised someone didn't say Sharon Collins.
Is there any mid-major?
State champion.
Is there any mid-major coach that KU would consider? I don't even think
Who?
No.
I don't these teams are going on runs.
No.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah. There's
actually,
no
Drew,
way.
your favorite school, High Point. They should target that coach. After beating your Badgers,
that would be an egregiously bad hire by KU. That would be
it would be
crazy.
nuts. It would be absolutely nuts to hire. What's his name? Clayman.
Someone on the
Coach
text line
Clayman.
suggested stealing UMKC's Coach Turgeon. I'm like, they're better than that. You don't have to they don't have to hire the High Point coach. Kansas has also just not gone with, at any point in their history, gone with a mid-major coach. They get an established guy.
I almost had to check. Somebody said Ben McCollum's 44. He is 44.
He's looking a little older than that. Sorry, Ben.
Jeez.
I wasn't going to say it.
That's what you were thinking, though.
He is he's definitely on the list. But again, I told you, Gary Parrish, who I trust, he's saying that there's a lot of thought that he's eventually going to the NBA in some role at some
I also
point
think
in time.
if you want to have the number 1 recruit go to Kansas, Ben McCollum is not the guy that you hire.
I know you've said that over and over. I don't know if that's to be true. I get why you're saying it based on the boring style and how they operate offensively. I don't know if I definitively agree.
It's not even that as much as it is. I think Kelvin Sampson gets great recruits, but Kelvin Sampson said during Big 12 Media Week, during the tournament, we did not recruit Darren Peterson or Devonta because they weren't the guys for our program. He literally said, I'm not recruiting them because they're not the guys that fit my style, because he knew the way that they played. Great players, but they're not going to fit the way that I play basketball. I think Ben McCollum, he'd love to have a player like that, but I think stylistically, you would be less likely to have the number 1 overall recruit because Ben McCollum would say, you don't fit my system, and my system is what I'm playing to, not getting the best player to come to my school. And that's obviously why he's a great coach.
Coming up next, we'll talk some Royals baseball, our spring training and opening day coverage brought to you by Park and Go, the best deal on airport parking. Josh Vernier is going to join us and tell us what to expect on Friday against the Braves and the opening day roster, and some roster moves were made today. What does he make of a couple of the injuries involving Michael Massey as well? That's coming up right here on 96.5 The Fan.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
Here they come. A baseball-sized hailstorm means every roofer for 500 miles is on his way here to ring your doorbell. Before that happens, go online to jrstormcheck.com and relax. JR & Company is locally owned, veteran-owned, and family-owned. JR & Company offers a lifetime warranty on workmanship. But best of all, JR & Company offers a free Class 4 shingle upgrade. What does that mean? Most insurance companies offer premium discounts on Class 4 shingles. Remember, no roofer can legally offer to pay your deductible, but a free shingle upgrade can reduce premiums for years to come. Why do we do this? Because we can. A lifetime workmanship warranty and free shingle upgrade. It's why we say,
you're always better with a roof from JR.
Just visit jrstormcheck.com.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick Weight Loss Hypnosis Seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds.
And we feel great. Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and lose the weight or stop smoking. Only $59.99 guaranteed or your money back. Hypnosis, Wednesday, April 1st at the Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City. Formerly Sure Stay Plus by Best Western in Kansas City. Lose weight hypnosis, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back here on Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the random question of the day here in about 15 minutes or so. But we are inching closer to opening day for the Royals. Of course, opening night in baseball is this evening as the Yankees take on the Giants. But the Royals did put out their opening day roster. And we'll start there with our Royals insider, Josh Vernier, who is gearing up for his on-deck show on Friday when the Royals head to Atlanta. Any surprise for you with today? I guess the notable part might just be the injury front where, not surprising, but Michael Massey is unfortunately not going to be ready to start the 2026 season.
No surprises on the opening day. Once all signs pointed to him not being there, not being ready for day one, that opened up the door for Nick Lofton to grab a spot that I thought was his up until Starling Marte showed up. Tyler Tolbert, for a team that has so many, in my opinion, everyday players, 6 of the 9 guys I'm hoping are everyday players this season. I need that late game speed coming off of the bench. So to me, there was no surprise to see Tyler Tolbert crack that 26. In the bullpen, they prioritize inventory with the Alex Lang sticking around over a guy like Steven Cruz. Cruz has the better stuff, the more high leverage ability, in my opinion. But to start the season, it's Estevez, it's Strom, it's Urseg. Those are the guys that are going to get those big outs, hopefully late in the game. And if and when they falter, I think that's when we see Steven Cruz get that call.
Vern, we gave our bold predictions earlier. I want you to tell us which one you think is most likely to happen. Gold said Q wins Manager of the Year. Drew said Vinnie hits 45 or more home runs. I said that Jack Caglione will hit more than 35 home runs. Which one of those three do you think is most likely?
Well, I think for the second straight year, I'm going with Gold. Yeah. Listen, 45 for Vin, 35 for Cags. Possibly, I guess. But to me, win the American League Central, which is certainly the expectation. Matt Quatraro, if he's able to get this team over the hump, not only him walking away with that award, but Bob winning MVP. To me, that's what has been the separator. Are you winning a division? Yes or no? If the answer is no, I don't want to hear complaints that Q's not winning this or Bob isn't winning this or this guy's not getting the recognition. Win the division and win it in the fashion that this talent is capable of winning it in. And yeah, Q could easily put that thing in his back pocket because the American League East is going to be a bloodbath all year. And everyone's normally looking over the American League Central. I think nationally a lot more love being shown towards A.J. Hinch and the Tigers. So, yeah, if Q's able to sneak up on some and win this division, sure, yeah. Out of those three options, I'll certainly ride with Gold.
What are your expectations for Jack Caglione year two? Are you still just treating him like the same prospect he was last year where you're like, I don't know, I mean, he still has the upper end potential as good of prospects in baseball, or do you have a certain statistical expectation for what you think Cags might do this year?
No. I don't have a stat that I'm looking at. I've already seen improvement defensively. So much of it for him, to me, is between the ears. It's mentally, or maybe it's in the chest. Maybe it's not questioning his heart, but his confidence, his self-belief, his ability to block out the negativity, block out whatever that batting average is that's staring him in the face at Kauffman Stadium or wherever they're playing, because I hope it's an impressive average. I hope his numbers are eye-popping early, but if they're not, is he able to block that out, focus on the team, and what does that scoreboard dictate I do in this particular at-bat? So, honestly, being the team-first type of player, that's what I'm looking for out of Jack Caglione. Just make the routine play defensively and allow the scoreboard to dictate your approach at the dish. The home runs are going to come. You know, the old adage, homers are a byproduct of a good swing. You don't do what Cags did in college. You don't murder the minor leagues if you're not talented. The guy has it all. In my opinion, the thing that has stopped him is confidence and negative thoughts infiltrating that dome. So if he can get that right, yeah, I expect big things from Cags. I expect Cags and Carter Jensen to allow the concern I had last year with Salvi hitting cleanup. I'm like, you can't have a 35, 36-year-old coming through every single day while catching. I can't ask him to be my cleanup hitter. If Cags and Carter meet the expectations that I think we have, reasonable expectations that I think we have for him, Salvi can stay in that cleanup spot as a 36-year-old because even if the numbers aren't what they've been in the past, if his clutch numbers, which are among the game's best for the past few seasons, if his clutch numbers remain as impressive as they've been, well, the power behind him in Cags and Carter, to me, could offset the possible lack of thump or batting average or on-base percentage for a guy like Salvador Perez.
This is the most power the Royals have had on opening day since when, in your opinion?
2019. Dozier, Jorge Soler. I guess Salvi was banged up.
We'll give him the edge at least on that one because he was probably close to coming around, but yeah.
Yeah. Witt started swinging for it. Mondesi, we were hoping that he would stay healthy. Obviously, that didn't happen. I think maybe they brought in
O'Hearn was on that
Carlos
team too,
Santana then as well.
Yeah. O'Hearn was on that team, right? And he, maybe hadn't unlocked it yet, but that was at least the year that Soler.
Uniform. Yeah.
God, that's got to go down as in baseball. If I'm the Royals, those are the front office ones, Vern, that would kill me. The idea of we correctly identified this person as being a capable Major League Baseball player. How the hell were they not capable for us?
Yeah, you could say the same for, Brent Rooker wasn't here as long, but his name's often brought up. But that's just, that's life. I don't think I became a man or matured until I was well into my 30s. Some guys take longer than others, and apparently Ryan O'Hearn just needed to be waived by a few teams before it locked in for him.
We're chatting with Josh Vern. What do you think of Friday night opening baseball for the Royals? We had JJ Piccolo on yesterday, and he pretty much was honest right away and was like, "Yeah, we're not a big fan of it. It's not necessarily the ideal circumstance for even the club."
Yeah, well, too bad. Nobody wants to hear it from the front. Go win. End of the season, if you fall short of the postseason, no one's going to want to hear any early season excuses. Listen, I bet you Atlanta's not too.
I think it sucks for fans.
How so?
Opening Friday at 6:15. Look, we're going to have fun at Maloney's watching the game, but Friday at 6:15 instead of on Thursday when everybody else is opening. Opening day, it's on evening game. It's not a day game. All of that, to me, doesn't have the same vibe.
Well, yeah, well, to each their own. You'll have that vibe Monday afternoon. It's a road game. Honestly, I think the story of this weekend is going to be people figuring out where the hell the game is, and listen, we're beginning one of 162. No, Thursday afternoon, Friday evening. Let's just get it started.
It just feels weird. I don't disagree with you that in the end I won't care or notice it. I guess, Vern, we gave you our bold predictions. What's yours? What do you think? Somebody on the text line said Garcia wins the batting title. Somebody said, Reagans wins the Cy Young. What thing do you think might happen for the Royals this year we aren't expecting?
Let's Cole Reagans could lead the league in strikeouts. I don't know if that's all that bold. I think he's top 5 for that to begin with.
Still an accomplishment, though.
What is bold? Is just something wacky? Is that what you want? Because I wouldn't say that Q winning manager of the year is wacky. No, 45 home runs from Vinnie. Okay, that's
out there.
I mean, if you're putting money on it, yeah, that's bold. I've just been going through all of the different gambling sites. I'm gonna post this on social media. I wanted to get your guys' opinions, so check your email box. I wanted to know everyone's best bets, their favorite bets, and what they believe the worst bet is. A lot of people are, we bring up Vinnie hitting 45 home runs. A lot of Vinnie's numbers are pretty low across the board, from homers to RBI. Cole Reagan's strikeout total, I think, is low. So Cole and Vinnie, to me, are the two where there is real value in their season-long totals. So I don't necessarily have a bold bet, but if I'm going to dump my money on two guys this season on those futures, it's Cole Reagan's over 189.5 strikeouts, and it's Vinnie Pasquantino. 100 RBI for Vinnie pays plus 250 over at Caesars right now. I would hammer that.
Vern, when you look at, I guess, where the back end of the bullpen is, we've talked about it. I know the team is saying they're not panicking yet about the velocity for Estevez. So I'm not going to ask you, if he'll turn it around. Let's just say the velocity doesn't kick up. What is option one at closer behind Carlos Estevez?
When are we talking? Because he's going to get the first few weeks, right?
Yeah, let's say 3 weeks
Will
from now.
Smith got the first few weeks.
Yeah, let's say 3 weeks from now, Estevez is still throwing 89 miles an hour and someone else has got to close. Who closes?
Oh, boy.
Best guess.
Yeah, well, it depends on who I think's going to perform as well. Matt Strahm, to me, is the best option right now as far as your opening day roster. You're not going to pull the ripcord on Luinder Avila that early into the season. Steven Cruz, you're not going to say, hey, you're up in the show and now you're the closer. I know people would say Urseg. Again, I'm just not seeing the strikeout numbers, and I think Strahm has more of a ninth inning presence out there, even though it's been a minute. I would call on Matt Strahm.
Intrigued at all about tonight? Of course, it's the first game of the year, but the fact that it's on Netflix and Barry Bonds, I guess, is going to be part of the studio crew for
right?
Yankees Giants.
Wow. Always interested to hear what he says. He can be kind of an a-hole and come across very smug, but people say I do as well. So I'm excited to hammer the under and watch Max Fried and Logan Webb go at it in a pitcher-friendly ballpark. So under 7 is what I'll be rooting for.
I like it. There's a bet from Vern right out of the gate to start the season, man. Let's do it. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Don't forget
off the phone line.
Don't forget, baseball is back. MLB opening night is tonight. Aaron Judge and the Yankees face off against Devers and the San Francisco Giants. That's live on Netflix tonight, 7:00 Central, 4 Pacific. But yeah, it will feel like that will make it feel more like Royals is close, right? You got actual baseball
I'm watching
on
tonight.
your TV.
Yeah, I'm watching the game tonight.
Nothing else
Absolutely.
on. There might are there women's games tonight?
Nope.
Might be the only.
There were none last night. There's none tonight. They're not back till Friday.
It's an off night. It's just
so it's that or
NBA,
watching Sixers Bulls. I'll be watching baseball.
Yeah, I'll watch some Yankees and Giants tonight, and Barry Bonds being part of the crew. I'm intrigued. Vern's right though. He can. Well, it'll be interesting. Is he typical Barry Bonds that we're used to, or will he actually be refreshing and in his analysis?
I think that's kind of what I wanted out of Jordan, though. We just didn't get anything.
Yeah, we just got an interview.
I don't care if he stands up there and says I could still hit free deep, and I'm not sure why these guys can't. That's, I think, why you pay a guy like Barry Bonds.
Quickly, because you mentioned it, did you actually look at the schedule, Cody, or did you just throw out the name Sixers and Bulls?
I just threw that out.
Because they actually are playing tonight.
Oh, nice.
It is.
That just felt like two teams who always are playing each other. Don't know why. But that just feels like two teams that
you don't want to watch future North Carolina men's basketball coach Billy Donovan.
No, just felt like two teams that constantly, it always feels like the U.S. and Mexico are always playing a friendly in soccer. It just feels like every time I look down at the NBA schedule, the Sixers and Bulls are on the slate. Yeah. Tonight, though, they are on the slate. Great.
They are playing against each other. Yes.
Someone said, the KC Current play tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They got the late game in Portland.
But that's it tonight, man.
I think
I'll be watching baseball.
Kick off to 9 p.m. though, or 8 p.m. So
are they off to a good start?
No,
this year. They're
not as good as last year,
Yeah.
where they were
Yeah,
undefeated,
they were undefeated
for
for
so
a
long.
I think they're 1-1 maybe or something like that.
Yeah, it's really early. They've only got a couple matches in.
It's early in the season.
I think I'm going to go, I think, in a couple of weeks.
There you go.
Early April.
Games are a ton of fun. I don't have season tickets this year. I just, frankly, I wasn't going to enough of them, so I didn't do it. But when I did go, I enjoyed it. A lot of fun. But I passed them up this year,
Maybe next time,
diverting it to the World Cup.
Yeah. World Cup funds instead. Makes sense.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. Of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. We live stream the show every single day over on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Like and subscribe on YouTube or Twitch. Pop to the top of your feed. Never miss any part of the show. Love interacting with you over there as well. A slightly sports-related random question of the day today. As you know, the NBA Board of Commissioners has approved bids to start pouring in from Seattle and to start pouring in from Las Vegas as possible new, and they will eventually, let's just admit, expansions coming to the NBA. It will be those two cities. It can only be those two cities. But we know Seattle's going to be the Supersonics. There's no mystery in that. But Jimmy Shapiro, who does some let's say off-market stuff gets sent. So Bet
Offshore,
Online, offshore. Bet Online has put together their list and odds of some names that could be the new Las Vegas name. So I want to know, which of these do you like or not like out of the potential list of future Las Vegas NBA basketball team names? Starting off with the favorite, the Mirage. First, that was a hotel there, so that feels kind of weird.
Get out of here with that. No.
The Mirage? What are they doing, like magic tricks? That's kind of a lame-ass name.
Mirage.
Get out of here.
Thoughts? Drew hates it.
Yeah, I need to hear the other ones first.
Feels like the name of the Vegas team in a movie. Like Ocean's 11, and they're at the basketball game. They're the Mirage.
In fairness, the Golden Knights, you would have said the same thing at the time.
Oh, yeah, probably.
But
I
yes.
like the Kraken right away when Seattle
Las
got their
Vegas
NHL
Aces
team.
are already a thing.
The
out there.
Jokers.
No. You can't call an NBA team the Jokers. I'm sorry. No.
Outlaws?
Unless the Outlaws.
More likely to be Outlaws than Jokers.
Outlaws,
I don't mind that
I got to
one.
say, Outlaws feels like a club baseball team, 13-year-olds wearing the same baseball bag together. There's something that feels so Little League about Outlaws to me. I hate that one. I like Jokers better than I like Outlaws.
Okay.
I'll run through 3 or 4 now, and you can tell me of these ones. These are in the next grouping. Scorpions, Venom, Spades, and Diamonds. How do you feel about any of those?
Venom, I think, is the most
Venom
realistic out of all of them.
The snake stuff could probably be cool.
Yeah, the Venom thing seems realistic. I'll give you that. I also do think you can make the same argument. It sounds like an XFL arena football league
I
team.
agree with that
It does,
too,
but
though.
I imagine I bet the jerseys could be sick.
Yes.
Like I could see at
For
least what Venom
basketball.
works were
like Diamondback-esque sort of.
Yeah, I think you could get away with some of that. I think they could be kind of cool jerseys.
Yeah.
It's the
So I
Venom
give it
and the
that.
Celtics next on NBC.
Diamonds. That seems like
I
a
don't know.
terrible name.
Spades in the No.
Diamond
I
sounds like the
think
name of
Venom.
a strip
I think
club.
Venom actually might be the best one.
They already have the Las Vegas Aces. You don't want to be the Spades.
Yeah, you don't want to be a different.
Correct. Yeah,
Aces is
that
a
would
better.
really
That
be
doesn't
weird.
work.
The Aces and Ace of Spades, but then it just feels like you're picking
Las
back
Vegas Blackjack. Is that on the list?
Diamonds absolutely feels like a strip club. So not bad.
It does.
Dude, Diamonds.
I would say Venom or Outlaws are the two most likely.
All right, you
I
want some of
actually
the
like
more?
Venom.
Yeah, keep
the
going.
most.
All right, so here's another grouping of 5: Vipers, another snake one.
Yeah.
Bandits, Hustlers, Sidewinders, and Blackjacks.
Sidewinders
or jackpots.
Sidewinders is dope, but there are a lot of snake themes here. Venom.
It's not going to
It's the desert, man. Scorpion, snakes.
I think Venom actually is better. Sidewinders is cool. There's a minor league team named the Sidewinders. I can't remember the. Is it?
Say the second name again. What was the second one?
Vipers, Bandits.
Bandits.
The Bandits.
Hustlers.
That sounds like a minor league
Again, the
baseball.
problem is
it's a
all
minor league
these,
baseball team.
a lot of these all sound like, minor league, again, XFL type stuff.
Scorpions just sounds too. It sounds too. You create a team in NBA Live 2002, and that's the team you name it.
Like someone like a 22-1 on here, he lists the Neons. I was like, again, I could see
plural.
Now, yeah, but again, if they do a neon theme, like Las Vegas neon light themed jersey, dope, very cool. They got a snake outlined in neon lights. That sounds cool. But being called the Neons, that's no good. That's a crap
be called
name.
the Venom and then do a neon themed jersey.
Yeah,
Yes.
now we're talking. Now we can kind of put this thing together. Of these so
How
far,
bad-
what do you guys like?
I don't
The
know.
other ones are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're further down.
I don't even know if these are on the list. I don't have it in front of me. Could they? I don't know. Do they want to go with the gambling theme, or are they trying to shy away from that? Because
So
the Las
Sin and
Vegas
Sinners is on here.
777s or something like that. I don't know. The jackpot thing fits.
I think they used to run away from it.
Gold. I feel like you should be part of the
ownership group
of the process. So yeah.
How low of ownership are they letting Alex in for? A couple $100?
Yeah, 0.000000001.
It'd go up in value.
And that still might cost me $1 million.
Someone said the cacti. No way.
The cacti,
dude.
The Las Vegas.
Imagine can you imagine for a minute how lame that would look on a jersey?
How would the mascot look? The mascot would be hilarious.
A cactus with like a smile on its face. You can't even make a cactus look angry. That's just no good. Although in fairness,
someone's right. You can't go bandits running rebels. UNLV are already pretty close to that.
That's a good point.
True. That's a good idea there. Yeah.
Some says they need to be like the Mavericks, like old school card shark. But like there's the Dallas Mavericks. I don't think they're going to choose a name that already exists for another professional sports team. Like I could see why the Mavericks work, but I don't think they're ever going to go with that.
Which is why Outlaws is a possibility. I mean, it's fine. The Las Vegas slots.
I feel
the
like
Outlaws, the Raiders.
I'm kind of leaning
there.
towards the snake thing might be their best.
I think the Venom
or Scorpions. Something like a desert-related, like critter animal, like that kind of thing. And you can make a Scorpion jersey look cool. Like you can make a snake jersey look cool.
Someone said the Vegas Dusters. I mean, the name sounds cool. I honestly, if I'm behind a name that sounds cool, like Scorpion sounds too. You and I created a team on a video game, and we named it the Scorpions.
Vipers. It makes me think dodgeball. Isn't that the name of his team? And when they do the Purple Vipers or whatever, isn't that the name of their team in dodgeball?
If we're talking purple,
and all of a sudden they're walking in the stands going,
yes.
I think. Remember when they're like walking?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You can't, that's no good. For those of you watching on the video stream, I don't think
the Las Vegas Rat Pack.
The Renegades.
The Renegades isn't
too bad. That was
bad.
definitely a name of an indoor football team. We used to have the Kansas City Renegades.
I don't mind the Renegades as a name.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible.
This is the Vegas resort fees.
The Las Vegas Sting. Was that one of the ones that you mentioned? Sting?
I don't know if I specifically mentioned that one, but that's on there. People are mentioning armadillos. Someone said the Las Vegas Spearmint Rhinos over on YouTube.
There you go.
Spearmint Rhinos.
That's a famous strip club after the Magic City debacle.
I actually wouldn't mind
really go into it.
In terms of rhinos, like take the spearmint out of it. The Las Vegas Rhinos. Think just conceptually, jersey creation. It's a unique name that nobody else has.
I gotta say, they better have the better halftime thing. They better have like Cirque du Soleil at halftime. They better have like some of the best in-stadium entertainment imaginable.
I mean, you know
live music.
The Red Panda is going to be there.
I don't think you want to be. I don't think you want to be rhinos because the issue with rhino, like people read into it too much. Like, aren't they worried about like their survival or not? Like, there's a. Are they?
Certain rhinos are extinct and then are hunted.
Yeah, I don't know if you want. I don't think you want your mascot, your nickname being rhinos.
I do kind of feel like we have all these animals in the entire animal kingdom, and we are underutilizing so many of them by naming everybody tiger, lion, or bear. Can we get, can we get a fresh animal? Like someone mentioned armadillo. Can we get a fresh animal in the mix?
I'm not playing for the armadillos. Yeah, I'm hyped up to be an armadillo, man. I'm ready to go.
You got to be a good defensive team if you're the armadillos. I'm sorry. You gotta be buckled down defensively.
Someone said kangaroos.
Someone said, Cody, you can't be critical of any nicknames after going to a school where they were the Kansas City Kangaroos at one point, or the UMKC
What's
Kangaroos.
Wrong with the What's wrong with the kangaroo?
Someone's saying that you can't do that.
Have you looked at kangaroos? They're buff as hell. That's a tough ass animal. You want to fight a kangaroo? Not me. How's that any softer than like the Miami Dolphins? Dolphins are notoriously nice.
I know.
Go pet him in the ocean.
Yeah, I swam with dolphins. Yeah.
Dare you to pet a kangaroo? Whip your ass. No chance. Why is the kangaroo worse than? Why do they all have to all be tigers? Like I understand we're just like predator animals.
Somebody said the flamingos. Hey, color scheme though.
Color scheme be fun.
Black and pink. Or pink and black, however you want to.
Yeah, like the way the Miami does their like.
Yeah, the Vice jerseys. Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of animals, man, and we're just like
the Las Vegas lizards.
I'm gonna say it to be the anteaters, but like we got a lot of different animals to choose from. It doesn't have to be all
the concept.
The predator type.
They get the number one overall pick, and maybe they select AJ DeBon. Say, hey man, I'm really excited to go be an armadillo. Like it just the thought process of.
Fine, that was a bad example, but
Still, no, but yeah, I understand the point of there being a lot of animal species that we do not utilize.
Like there aren't enough like crocodile, teams,
Sure.
We can't get some other animals, that's all.
Yeah.
All right, up next. We'll get to what the NFL wants from its TV partners. We'll also talk a bit more about the Royals and 2 or 3 things that have to happen for them to win the Central.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Well, we finally made it. It's spring, and I have spring fever. I love getting outside and cooking on the flat top or the grill, and Hy-Vee has the best meat department in KC. They've got the freshest, top-quality cuts of corn-fed beef from the Midwest and the best prices in town. They also have bacon-wrapped chicken breast and stuffed pork chops, plus the fresh seafood we love at home. Making a meal with a twice-baked potato. It's the best meat department in town. They've got the steaks, they've got the chicken, they've got the seafood, and you can get it only at Hy-Vee.
3, 2, 1. It's mid-March, and Kansas City is crazy about college hoops. Pick your bracket, call your friends, and count on Hy-Vee for all your game day snacks. Hy-Vee makes your watch party easy with a huge selection of ready-to-serve party trays, boneless wings, barbecue, sushi, pizza, and fresh bakery goods. Order ahead through the Hy-Vee app, online, or at your favorite store. Even if your bracket is a bust, your watch party will be a winner only at Hy-Vee.
All right, professional landscapers, a quick heads up. Right now is the best time of the year to upgrade your lawn equipment because the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event is happening March 19th through the 29th. You can get up to 20% off Gravely commercial mowers. The machines pros count on for consistent results and season-long reliability. If you're adding to your fleet or upgrading this spring, now's the time. Stop by your local Gravely dealer today.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. Their max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Join 96.5 at Maloney Sports Bar and Grill in Overland Park for a Royals and Braves watch party. Friday, March 27th, with first pitch just after 6. Right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. KFMZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. In Odyssey Sports Station.
1 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Video stream up and running on YouTube, Twitch, and X. Also, Jay Southland Tozer of his text line, 913-586-7965. Don't forget, coming up on Friday, we are going to be out at Rally House, their Independence location for Rally with Us MLB opening day event that they're doing over there. We're going to have our show, of course, hanging out, getting set for Royals and Braves, but also 4 $100 Rally House gift cards are going to be given away to 4 lucky customers, listeners, 2 tickets to opening day on the line as well. Plus, first 100 customers through the doors are going to receive a Rally House opening day scratcher ticket to receive up to 40% off your next MLB purchase. So don't forget, head into Rally House, your home for authentic Royals gear, on-field hats, jerseys, apparel. Level up your fandom at one of their local stores or go to rallyhouse.com.
Going to be a good time. We'll see you out there on Friday. And then, of course, next Monday, we'll be out in front of Gate D right there at Kauffman Stadium. So plenty of chances to interact with us and have a chat as we'll be, like you said, out there at Rally House coming up on Friday. The TV, I saw some people complaining because MLB opening night tonight's on Netflix. I'm like they don't even want us to watch baseball.
Oh, it's just way better than last year. Last year, the game was at 3 a.m. in Japan to start the season. So this is progress.
Yeah.
This is a big improvement.
But also, I just don't think you're realizing what percentage of the United States has a Netflix subscription. It's a lot. It's the same as the Prime stuff. It's a lot. And they're trying to make sure that it's 100% of society, or at least a larger percent.
89 million, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot of
subscribers.
People. And look, people can sign up for a trial or whatever, or just miss the Yankees game, you know? If that's not the squad for you. You don't have to watch the Yankees or Giants game tonight if you're not, at least on that end. But it had me thinking more about the NFL and the way their TV's going. One, and I think we can talk about this in a minute, barreling towards 18 games and being bullied into it. But I was reading an article over at Awful Announcing and then doing some research on it from a couple of other outlets. And what's happening in the NFL today, or right now, is really interesting. It's all in the play of trying to eventually prepare themselves for 18 games. But there are rumors that the NFL wants the network partners to pay more now, even though they got 4 years left on their deal. 2030, 2031, they're locked up. They're paying $2.1 billion per year. They don't have to pay the NFL more money. But the NFL is saying, more money, please. And like, we mean now. We don't want $2.1 billion per year. We want $3 billion. You know why, Gold? Because they know the streaming partners will pay it. And with the 18th game coming, and that game essentially just kind of heading straight to every streaming partner who will outbid the markets for those things, they want the NFL to pay what is market value for that. And they're threatening it, in my opinion, by using these streaming partners as future, oh, you think you got a good deal now, just wait. Reportedly in this is that Amazon wants to steal Sunday Night Football from NBC. And force them to go to Thursday Night Football instead, the less valuable slot. Saying, hey, if they're going to be the big-time payers and you guys aren't, who's to say Sunday Night Football can't be on Amazon Prime? I think they're using it as a threat to try to get these TV partners to start paying up now, the networks to pay up now. And I mean, look, if you're the network, $900 million isn't nothing. But for the NFL, you're probably still getting your money's worth. You're going to have to charge more for advertisement. But Gold, it's hard to argue that the NFL doesn't kind of have you buy, in that situation.
The balls, Cody.
Yeah.
Is what
I
you were
couldn't
looking
decide
for.
if I could say
you
it.
were, you were looking for that. Yeah, I think you can.
The NFL's got all their TV partners, essentially, right? I mean, in that situation.
Yeah, you could say that, I think.
I don't know what the rules are. I'm an above
Why couldn't
board
you say
host.
that?
I don't know. I say all kinds of crazy things on this show. You would think I should be able to say it, but
That's where you drew the line? You're saying they got him by the balls?
That's true. I probably should have.
I don't know.
It's a weird line. Drew's now like, what? Now I got Drew questioning
we're
it.
fine. Come on.
The point is, do you think that this is where
could
the
be
league is
talking
heading?
about any.
Would you hate if Amazon Prime was Sunday Night Football? What's the difference?
I would, because
you're watching
I
it either way. You
I'm
got to
gonna
watch one on one, one on the other.
I am going to watch either way, but you know what? NBC, I think, does a hell of a job for the Sunday Night Football broadcast. The entire presentation aspect of it, not just Collinsworth and Tirico, but I actually think the graphics and the visuals are great. The only thing, and they're changing it, I thought their studio show has gotten worse, and they finally kicked Tony Dungy off of it, so that's better already.
Jeez.
Dude, Dungy's not good. He's not listening to this
Drew's
show.
a Colts guy, though. He's
Do you
an
know
indie
Tony
guy.
Dungy was
He's
good
an
on the
indie guy.
broadcast?
He's an indie guy.
I like Tony Dungy, and I think that having
as a person or as a host.
I mean, he's a nice guy. I don't have a problem with him in any way, shape,
Doesn't
or
mean
form.
he's good on TV, though.
Correct. Which I think I don't pay too much. Like Jack Collinsworth. I think Jack's fine. I don't think he's that bad at all. But a lot of people don't like Jack Collinsworth. It takes a lot for me to be like, dang, I
I'd rather
don't
watch
care to
Paint
listen
Dry
to you.
than listen to Jack Collinsworth.
Yeah, that's all.
He's been on this show before.
Friend of the show.
He's
never coming on it again.
I don't think you. I was gonna say I don't think you can say friend of the show when you would say you'd rather listen to Paint Dry.
I mean, listen to it, not even watch it dry, where at least there's some satisfaction, as in listen to nothing.
Yo.
He's not Drew. Come on, there's got to be an announcer that you feel this way about. I know that your instinct is don't be mean to people, and that's fine. That's actually an admirable trait.
It's a great trait.
But there are, I know for a fact, privately in your head, you're like, I can't stand this announcer.
I can't think of anybody though that stands out to the point of I'd rather watch in silence. But again, that's me thinking off the cuff. If it happens, like if I'm watching a game and it happens all of a sudden, I'm like, yeah, I don't care for this. I like Mark Jones's. I really like Mark Jones's broadcasting ability. I think his analogies become a bit much at times.
Yeah.
But I think I like Mark Jones, but he's one that stands out where it's like, oh, they got Mark Jones in the broadcast. It's fine. I'd rather hear Mike Breen.
Yeah, and it just depends. For some people, it's sports dependent. I've told you.
Michael Grady. Yeah.
For college football, I'm not bothered by Kirk Herbstreit. But for the NFL, when he's just, I'm good.
I think it's a good. It doesn't make me think. I would rather listen to somebody else. I think talk about the NFL, but it's not like I need to not watch. I'm going to listen in silence. I suppose I'm not. I would not rather listen to Paint Dry than hear Kirk Herbstreit talk about football.
The other part, though, that you mentioned, Cody, aside from just the broadcast partner, is what Mike Florio was alluding to, which is how they're going to approach things with the Players Association.
I think that they're going to go to J.C. Treader, and they are going to lay out a new CBA that is premised upon, above all else, an 18-game regular season, 16 international games per year. Robert Kraft has already talked openly and nonchalantly about this is how it's going to be. Not this is what we want. This is how it's going to be. And I think that's important because that's the attitude that is going to be projected to J.C. Treader. Hey, J.C., this is how it's going to be. We can do it the easy way. We can do it the hard way. We're going to make you an offer right now that is going to be better than any offer we're going to make later. And if we have to lock you out, if you make us wait until after the 2030 season and we lock you out for all of the offseason, and eventually the players cry uncle because they won't want to miss a game check, we'll gladly sit out the whole season. I think it's going to move faster than anyone realizes because, and this is the key, the Super Bowl to be played in Atlanta in February of 2028 does not have a date yet for the game, which less than 2 years from the game is unheard of.
That last
It's
part,
weird.
I don't think is a coincidence. We know the sites for the Super Bowl, 4+ years in advance, and we know the dates usually, but not for the Atlanta one, which is in 2028. And if the schedule ends up being what we think it's going to be, what Mike Florio was laying out there with the international games and extra game period, there's a good chance that the schedule gets bumped back even more. And so that would be why maybe we don't have the dates for the Atlanta Super Bowl. So I buy into that. I think he's 100% right. Of the NFLPA, as much as you would think the players, of course, without them, there's no league. It's why we watch. We don't watch for the owners. We watch for the players. In these negotiations, though, they don't have the power. They just don't. The NFLPA
Can they
is
ask
not
for anything other than money? Because they'll get money. They'll get more money with more games.
Just what I had mentioned earlier, and I don't know what the number is, but I think one thing they should ask for is the expanded roster size. So it's more jobs for their client, for their membership. So 53-man roster becomes a 56 or 58 or whatever man roster. It's more jobs. That's what they want also, right? It's not just the top-end guys. There's a huge amount of players that just want a job on the team and be paid the minimum salary.
I think that it's fairly obvious. One, you're going to get more money because the cap's going to go up because more games means more money from TV partners, means more cash. Again, I don't think they need an 18th game. I just also think they're going to have it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to happen by 2028. Yeah. I think we're going to have 1 year remaining of enjoying, or 2 years remaining of enjoying 17-game schedule. And then by 2028, 18 games, here we come. But the things they should be asking for, and I don't know what they will, is they know they're going to get more money. That's just the way it works. That's how it's already collectively bargained. We get a share of the revenue. More money means more salary. The increased rosters is one. I would also ask for a reduction of time before I get lifetime health insurance. I don't want to have to be a 6-year NFL player in order to get it. I got to play 18 games a year? Well, then you got to take care of whatever the hell happens to my body sooner. If I play 4 years in the NFL, if I play 3 years in the NFL, you got to take care of me. I got to be able to go to the doctor. I got to be able to have surgery. I got to be able to fix this stuff. Health insurance is legitimately one of the things I would be asking for. And a lifetime's worth, starting at a younger age. At this point, if you know that it's going to be a hazard to you and that hazard is going to happen a lot faster because you're going to have to play more NFL games, well, then reduce it. Reduce it by helping yourself at least, being able to take care of yourself. That's legitimately maybe the thing, if I were the players, I'd be asking for. I'll tell you right now, whatever the cap numbers you think are now, if you think as a general manager, they are getting into 18 games by 2028, I would lock up whoever you can next year. I'd be signing massive contracts and backloading the hell out of them. If Jamar Chase would take a 7-year deal, I'd give it to him. Because the numbers, if they get an 18th game, do you remember how high the numbers, how much they've been going up year by year now with 17? It's going to skyrocket.
Yeah, it'll be, the cap is at $308 million or something. It'll be $400 million here in the next 3 years.
Yeah. I legitimately would absolutely be jumping up with that and be doing it. And so, for me, that's the number I'd be asking for. But I do think 18 games is coming. So you guys all think 2028? Anybody want to take the over on that?
No, it sounds like by then we'll have it.
Did you guys see latest Instagram post from one Patrick Mahomes? You guys see this?
No.
Although, did he just delete it? Hold on. It was up, and now I don't see it on my feed. Anyway, it was him throwing for the first time and dropping back and throwing, and I'm not. It is. It's still on his. It's still on his.
Who
Instagram.
put this out?
Patrick Mahomes himself. Yeah,
he's throwing.
Yep, he's throwing, dropping back. Says day by day felt great being able to throw the ball around today with the target emoji and the clock emoji as well. But it's the first time we've seen him, to my knowledge, publicly put out a video of him dropping back to throw.
When did he have surgery?
December, right? Something.
December
something.
Yeah, something like that.
He'll be back on opening weekend.
Yeah, that's the target.
He'll be back for the first game.
That's the target.
I saw a doctor try to do an entire breakdown of his gait at the Big 12 tournament. You know what? I can't do this to myself. I've decided I am waiting until July 15th to make any assumptions one way or the other of his possible return.
Nobody can tell you 100% right now that he's playing week one. We all understand he's going to do everything possible to be ready for it. And yeah, I think there's a real chance he is. But this notion that it's just, he says he's getting ready for week one, so he's playing week one. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. But I also think, man, if there's anybody that can push the limits of it, then it's
we obviously
Patrick
don't know
Mahomes.
for sure. I just
it's hard to imagine
I believe
he's
be
going
ready.
to be. Yeah.
I believe he will play week one.
I don't know if he's a super healer or anything outside of that, but he has made it clear that's his goal. It has happened before in the NFL for someone to come back. from an injury that
the
quick.
timeline realistically fits him to be. It's obviously on the better end of it, but the timeline realistically fits him being available and ready to go.
Oh, it's plausible for sure.
He obviously won't play in the preseason at all.
Somebody says no one uses the clock emoji more than Mahomes. What is your what's your top emoji use?
Ooh, can I find out? Is there like a way to find out?
I don't know.
Or?
It's normally it's normally in the first few that.
That's what I was saying. Is it the first few? So okay, I get if that's the case. Does it go vertically or horizontally? First three.
I think it's got to be in that main page. That's not necessarily order. Some of those are the
here's
ones
a couple.
you use the most.
All right, so I don't know in any order. The sunglass, like cool one, I guess. The eye, like the eyes.
Yeah, that was popular.
The face, like hand and face, like, and then just the laughing, like the laugh, just one of the laughing emojis. Sure. Those would be the 3 or 4 that are right there. I guess apparently. Well, that's because for our tweets, sometimes I do the money bag thing for the betting. So I have a bunch. I have the money bag on mine, but that's only because
the eyes looking emoji, the fire emoji are on mine. The laughing emoji, those are all pretty common ones, I would say. The clown emoji, I must be calling people clowns a lot. It's on there. Must be one I use more than I realize.
Do you have a few?
And music notes.
Well, mine are all related to the show, more or less. I've got the telephone, like when I put up the show tweet, the TV for YouTube, the radio dial for radio.
What do you use in text exchange? Like
someone
asked you with your wife. Which one do you use the most?
I use like the skull emoji, like
dead?
I'm dead. Yeah. I feel bad for the eggplant.
Oh yeah,
I forgot.
I forgot you feel bad. I forgot about that.
I do feel bad for the eggplant. Which ones he said?
I feel bad for the eggplant.
I did forget you said that about that. It's been mischaracterized now. People can't just send a grocery list.
Someone says, Cody, what are you sending fire emojis for? You been in the DMs lately, Cody? Yeah,
I think it's one I use. I think it's one I use on like Twitter a lot, or like social media, as in like, oh, you like something? This is fire. I think that's
fire's on like on the page where it shows like the 15 or what. Fire's on there for sure. Yeah,
I think it's just a commonly used one for me. You know?
I've also got like the check, like the green like check mark, because I use that for grocery. I'll use that for grocery shopping. Like as I'm going, I'll put a check next to the list on like my notes.
In emojis?
Yeah.
Interesting. Like I just use like the notes app just has like a bubble you fill in. I don't need a check mark. I don't need to use an emoji.
Someone says those are.
If you use one, there's one that like checks it off and it goes off your list. Dude, it's even better.
I didn't know
it
that.
has a completed list versus an incomplete list. You're grocery shopping all wrong.
Someone says the emoji use that's your most recent, not most used, which would make more sense because I have a baseball one and I have a corn on the cob one, which was definitely used about Nebraska.
Well, how do I know my most used?
I don't know if there is a way to know your most used. That's just most recent. Okay, but I guess you could argue the most recent might end up being your most used on
in some capacity. Yes. I'm looking. I'll tell you this much. I don't get deep into. There's a whole if I scroll over, there's a whole bunch I've never used.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of emojis I've never used before. Yeah. How many emojis do you think there are? Like, how many hundred? 200, 300?
They're always adding more. There's always like some headline. Apple
Someone
adds.
says you guys probably have the eggplant on there. It's not in the first page, I'll tell you that. So I didn't make it recently. Drew's the only one that's really talked about that.
I don't even know. I forget what that conversation was about, actually.
I mean, don't lie and act like you've never used the eggplant emoji.
I've never used the eggplant
ever in your life.
I have never used the eggplant
emoji.
emoji.
BS. Call him BS.
One time.
Ever?
I don't need to text
going back to
people
college when you were joking about something.
It's not a commonly used emoji, but I'm not comfortable saying never.
I don't have
comfortable. Yeah, you can't say never.
I can't think of any time I've used it, but I can't in good conscience
say you've never used it.
I've never needed to use the eggplant emoji before.
There are 3,900 emojis on an iPhone.
There's that many?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I said 200 or 300. That's severely underselling that.
So
3,900.
Never uses the running emoji. Drew has the flex one.
Have I used it? I'm never sure I've used the flex one. I think at some point I'm sure.
That one I am confident of saying I've never used. Never used that.
I might have used that once or twice. I'll do like the hand clapping emoji a lot, like a round of applause.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not common for me.
There's a lot of these that I have.
Says Gold. Did Cody ever say what he's got his wife for Mother's Day 3 years
we
ago?
Covered that
Probably
years
why
ago
he's
on
been
this show.
sending the fire emoji. Yeah, the answer is he didn't get her anything.
We covered this.
It's even worse.
We covered
it's even
this
worse.
2 years ago.
He didn't get her anything. Yeah, Mother's Day coming up, man. A few months away. 2 months out ish.
Is there anything that actually would be worse than not getting her anything? There's some things.
Is there
obviously,
anything? What? Oh,
but there's not too many things that would be worse than not getting anything.
Someone says.
I mean, they're definitely worse, but
yeah.
Because if on Mother's Day, let's say you got you got her a vacuum, that's worse.
Someone says the only emoji I ever use is thumbs up. My kids think I'm old.
A vacuum. I like how you use that.
That'd be worse. That'd be a worse Mother's Day gift to give somebody. Anything that's like stereotypical, like you're a homemaker gifts, that'd be rude as hell. At least depending on your partner.
She might want new.
I honestly wasn't even thinking it that way, but
pots and
yeah,
pans
that
or
makes it
something.
worse.
You know what I mean?
Fine.
Like
Don't get them for Mother's Day.
No, but
get them at a different time.
But if you ask your wife, what do you? Like, is there anything you want me to get you for Mother's Day? And she said that, then I think you get the clearance to get it.
Yes,
fine.
I agree with
like
that.
But that's any gift. That's like I get clearance if she said I don't want anything. You know?
Wow. No, that you and I both know, and I'm not married, and I know if your wife tells, "Oh, you don't need to get me a gift," that's BS. You absolutely got to get her a gift.
I think it depends on the person.
I
really do think.
Oh, you don't don't worry about getting anything for my birthday. BS. No.
The reverse of this is, what would you like for Mother's Day? She says a vacuum. You don't get her the vacuum. She's disappointed then that you didn't get her the vacuum.
I'm not saying you still can't get her a vacuum. I am saying that is a horrible.
I agree.
And I mean horrible. You might as well get her an apron and a new oven while you're at it.
Okay.
Call it
I
the
didn't even think about it from that
1960s.
level of things, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I would recommend not getting her like a scale for the bathroom.
Well,
you know?
A scale is
that might be all time.
That's way worse. That's way
That might
worse.
be the worst.
That's
some sort of diet product. That might be the worst thing you could get.
A scale would
new
be
gym
terrible.
membership. That's rude as hell.
That would be wild. Oh my
A
goodness.
scale is nuts.
Oh, that's bad. I don't care if it's the nicest scale they sell. That'd be
One of those that do
crazy.
the what do they call them? That does the the DEXA scan, but there's now ones that do the breakdown, like not just your weight. I don't know what you know what I'm talking about. Those are
it'll
very
give you the whole, like,
expensive.
BMI.
Something
Yeah.
as like Cody's daughter's backpack. You're not going to get her a new
That's
backpack.
true. He still
every
hasn't got his daughter a new backpack.
Her backpack's fine.
5-year-old backpack. That's crazy.
It's in great shape.
She deserves a new backpack.
She can get a new one in middle school, I guess.
How long does she have to wait to get that then?
What's
How
with this
many more years?
overconsumption culture, you know? We can't just own things anymore. You know what I donated? So I just donated some stuff to the thrift store the other day. And I donated gold. I'm not kidding. For the first time since 2003, I purchased a new toaster. My toaster lasted from 2003
Wow.
until like 2 weeks ago.
How often do you use the toaster?
Constantly. Multiple, I would say if it's not once a day on average, I would guess it's 4-5 times a week on average.
How much do
For
toasters cost now compared to what they did back then?
For, I don't know, 23 years I owned that toaster.
So you got your money's worth.
Hell,
Well,
I think that
obviously.
thing cost me $23 when Kmart was going out of
Hey,
business.
Kmart, man.
I got it at Kmart when it was closing. That's when I bought that toaster.
The
Hell
Kmart
of
that
a
we
ride.
always grew up with
Great
had
toaster.
had a little Caesars inside of the Kmart.
Honestly, it was still working.
Oh, really?
I
You get some
don't-
crazy bread while you're
Yeah,
shopping
yeah,
at Kmart?
yes.
It took
that
me
was
years
great.
to decide to get it. The toaster still works. So I felt kind of bad shifting a little bit. I felt a little bit bad. I went toaster oven. So I could do some, like you could do like quick chicken nuggets or whatever for the kids. So I've shifted gears.
Do you guys agree with this comp? Somebody from the 785 compared getting your wife a scale would be like getting me a do-rag for Father's Day.
I don't know.
I don't know what that.
What? I don't get
know
it.
where that
I don't
comparison
get
is
it.
coming from.
I actually don't get that
Yeah.
text. Am I missing something?
I don't know.
Someone says, have you ever used a Dyson vacuum? Yeah, I have a Dyson vacuum. It's nice. But
I don't know
No,
what
Dyson
vacuum I have, but
vacuums
the
are
Dyson-
great.
the vacuums-
We're great, but not doing it. Someone says a scale, you're getting divorced. She's
Yeah.
going to get you divorce papers for your birthday. For Father's Day, you're just getting straight.
There is a level of adulthood. Okay, so let's like for Father's Day, if your wife bought you a new silverware set, you would love that, probably. But I don't like. I don't know if there's anything that you would say I don't want.
I don't know
this."
what the male equivalent of getting like a scale is. It'd probably be like if she got me like Rogaine, you know? She just like...
You know what? That actually
That's like the
is the
equivalent.
one.
Like,
Hey,
hey,
that might be the one.
picking up that hair a little. I'm trying to stay married
Just
for a
for
bit,
men?
you know?
Yeah, that-
It'd be like, yeah, just for men, right? Getting you like hair dye and being like, I hope you take the point here.
I guess that would be the closest.
That's got to be the equivalent.
I mean, a scale for you, same thing.
Yeah, it's also
Yeah,
bad,
in a
but I'm
way,
just,
yes.
like, I just don't think there's more, this is,
Someone says,
there's
like,
more
you getting
societal pressure on weight for men or women.
Yeah,
so
so
like,
getting
it's
your
not
wife
the
is
same.
going to be like her getting you a tape measure or just a hammer is what they were saying.
No, that's like the vacuum one where you're like, you couldn't think of any, you don't even know me. You're just like, you're just going to get me like something made out of leather that's, measuring tape or whatever.
Someone's going to Photoshop it now.
Which version?
Someone says Drew in a do-rag is objectively funny to think
I
of.
responded back, you know what it would look like? It'd be like those Vision memes from Marvel that came out when Vision had, when he had his arm across his hand across his chest and has like a chain, like a Cuban link chain and has like a turtleneck sweater. Yeah.
No, it's like Malibu's Most Wanted. That'd be Drew, the main character. That'd be Drew, is what it would be. All of a sudden.
All right, well,
The
we'll keep an eye.
boss.
El Jefe.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure the boss loved this segment that we just did. Someone said it felt like a Friday. It did. We kind of went off.
Today's Wednesday. Goodness. This week's gone by slow. I don't know about you guys.
Really?
It felt like yesterday
Tomorrow's
should have been.
Thursday.
It felt like tomorrow should have.
A little bit. It does feel like we should be past Wednesday.
It felt like yesterday was Wednesday or Thursday to me.
Yeah, it feels like we're a day behind for us. Maybe not for you.
It might just be I'm ready to get to the weekend and these March Madness games and baseball
those
starting
tomorrow?
up. Yeah, we get all of it. I mean,
right.
I guess baseball's starting today.
Up next week, we'll talk a little more Royals baseball. 2 to 3 things.
That's what we were going to talk about?
That have to go right for the Royals to win the AL Central.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinnie Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back. You heard Drew. He's talking about wanting to watch hoops this weekend. Underdog is the best place to get in on the action. There'll be basketball back on your screen tomorrow. You can make entries and win money right now in Missouri over on Underdog. I've told you before, it is very easy. Just download the app. Choose which players will go higher or lower on stats, rebounds, assists, points. You can put those together. You can mix and match sports with baseball starting tonight. Like, for instance, you could just choose whether or not you think Judge is going to hit a homer. You might be surprised. I like that to go higher tonight. Get those entries tonight, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Download the app today. Use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $50 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets at underdogfantasy.com/web/playing terms. _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-MY-RESET or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
The weather is changing, so that means spring is here and baseball season is right around the corner. FanDuel is letting you choose your own reward for opening week. Betting customizations that transform how you experience baseball. I can't remember the last time that optimism was this high heading into the baseball season, and you're not going to want to miss the action with America's #1 sportsbook app, FanDuel. Make your choice, and the reward will be ready on your next MLB bet. FanDuel is the home for home runs, exciting plays, and now that you can choose your own reward for opening week, baseball just got more exciting. The Royals are making the playoffs this year. You saw how they performed in the World Baseball Classic, so get in on the action early. Are you ready to play your game? Head to FanDuel.com/local to choose your reward for MLB's opening week. FanDuel is an official partner of MLB and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and total expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amounts. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $59.99 guaranteed. That's right. Don't just cut back. Stop smoking once and for all. Also, lose all the weight you want. Only $59.99 guaranteed with Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings, late-day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating, and lose the weight. Weight loss hypnosis. Wednesday, April 1st at the Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City. Formerly Shore Stay Plus by Best Western in Kansas City. 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis. 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Come on. No! It's just a golf lesson, champ. Loosen up. I can't. See that Hyundai Santa Fe? Yeah. I only paid to now sell. Finish up on your own. I gotta run.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends March 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Baseball is back. Opening night is one exclusive game, and it's live on Netflix. Tonight, the New York Yankees, led by 7-time All-Star Aaron Judge, are in the Bay Area to face Rafael Devers and the San Francisco Giants. A brand new way to watch Major League Baseball, and it all starts here. MLB opening night, Yankees vs. Giants, live on Netflix. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Visit AnthonyPHC.com today.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. What's trending is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor, all things parking lot.
Number one on What's Trending, MLB opening night this evening over on Netflix, Yankees and Giants. The Yankees will have Max Fried on the bump, Logan Webb for San Francisco. Total for the game sitting at 7. It's how baseball will kick off the 2026 season. The Royals did also make an announcement with their opening day roster now being set. Couple of notables on that, more so, unfortunately, on the injury end for the Royals. Nothing all that surprising, but to start the year, it will have Michael Massey on the 10-day injured list, retroactive to 3 days ago on March 22nd with a left calf strain. Also, James McArthur placed on the 15-day injured list. Drew Waters designated for assignment. And Stephen Kolek placed on the 15-day injured list as well with a left oblique strain, which baseball and oblique strains, man, it's crazy.
I don't remember who it was who was taking advantage of that. Just as a reminder, 10 days is the shortest a position player can be on the IL. 15 days is the shortest for the pitcher because somebody was like bouncing him up and down left and right a couple years back. So they changed it to 15 days so you couldn't bring him up quite as soon. Next up on What's Trending, Bill Self telling Kansas City Stars Gary Bedore that there is no timetable for his decision of retirement and that the news being reported, at least in a couple of circles this morning, are BS or bad info, whether or not he's decided on retirement just yet. So no decision yet from Bill Self. There are some thoughts that he is leaning towards retirement, or at least some speculation he might be leaning towards retirement. So we'll see. But as of right now, no news on Bill Self, regardless of what you might have seen online.
The NBA's Board of Governors have approved a vote for the league to explore bids and applicants for an expansion teams exclusively in Vegas and Seattle. A bidding process expected to generate offers in excess of $7 billion, in the $7 to $10 billion range. Of course, having an NBA franchise in Vegas is going to be extremely lucrative.
Yeah, I mean, for a variety of reasons, but still very impressive. Next up on What's Trending, speaking of Bill Self, UNC, North Carolina, is open. They're obviously moving on from their head men's basketball coach. The Celtics have said, Boston Celtics president of basketball operations, Brad Stevens, has said he will remove his name from consideration. Obviously, his name came up immediately because if you're UNC or Kansas, you immediately start thinking the biggest of the biggest names you could possibly acquire. Brad Stevens doesn't look like he's ready to return to coaching. Not yet, and probably not ever. So UNC, they've apparently got their sights set on Billy Donovan, the current Chicago Bulls head coach.
One other note from baseball, they announced today, this is something different. If you are keeping an eye on home runs that travel 420 feet this year,
okay.
So they have a new campaign, Get a Baja for a Blast. So they're partnering with Mountain Dew, the Baja Blast flavor.
They're the official soda, I think, of like Major League Baseball.
It starts alongside opening day. Any home run that travels 420 feet or more during a game will unlock a free Baja Blast for fans across the U.S. I think it's limited 5 throughout the entire season that you can claim. But there will be a live leaderboard also available tracking every eligible home run in real time so fans can keep up with which home runs qualify. And they're doing a bunch of other promotions.
I wasn't prepared for the activations of it. I saw Drew a Baja Blast baseball glove.
Yeah, for $400.
Where it had the logo in the middle of it, and it had the color of the Baja Blast is the highlight color on the glove.
Yeah, it's available. It's been available all month, and it's $399.
How much do you have to Mountain Dew Baja Blast to get? I wish it was more than just the Baja Blast stuff, obviously, because I'm not a Baja Blast guy.
I gotta say, all this baseball talk, Drew, real missed opportunity for us to just have a catch. Before the show today, we could have stepped outside, warm weather.
Cody's really tried to do a lot of father-son activities with you recently.
That
he wanted you to come over and
you want to have a catch? It has to be father-son. You like baseball.
I would be down. It's crazy enough. I thought I brought my glove with me when I moved here.
You don't have your glove?
I don't have my glove, and I've asked my parents if they could look through the garage at times, and they said they can't find it either. I don't know what happened to it.
I got a glove you can borrow at least, so we can play catch.
I'd be down for some catch. I haven't played catch in a
you
really
and I
long
probably
time.
did when we were at Kaufman a year or two ago.
That
we definitely
would
played
be
catch that day.
That would be the time.
And I'll pull the glove that doesn't have the stuff on the inside. Made your hand all funky. I think the last time we played.
Yeah, it was.
I just grabbed the top glove off. I've got 5 or 6
It
or 7
wasn't
gloves
necessarily
in the house,
like tar, but there was something that
it's the glue between the leather because they're I have one glove that's newer, as in the glove I purchased in the last 7 or that I take care of, that is the glove that I'm planning on using for the rest of eternity. But it's I've just got a random set of other gloves.
Someone says 420 feet. Come on. Well, of course that's with Mountain. Of course they were doing that on purpose.
Someone said Cody doesn't trust his own kids to take care of him in old age, so he's prepping
That's
me.
true.
For the
Will you
role.
take care of Cody as he gets older? Are you committing?
We're not that far apart in age. I can't. I'm not trying to ask. We're what 10 years? Not even 10 years, or 10 years. 10 years apart.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So if Cody needs help when he's 80
and Drew's 70,
I'm 70.
He can help him out.
Can help me at 70?
Yeah.
I mean, he'll be in better shape at 70 than I'm at 80, but probably just depends. All I said is we could have a catch.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring a glove on Friday, Drew.
Okay.
We'll play.
Is it supposed to be? We're at Rally House.
Oh, we're on remote.
We're at Rally House on Friday.
Is it supposed to be? Isn't it supposed to be as warm on Friday?
Friday's in the
today
50s.
And tomorrow. Is
90
it nice
degrees.
outside today?
It's supposed to be 88 today.
Today and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow is supposed to be great.
I can't wait to go outside
Go out and get
here.
some vitamin D.
I don't know why. I was trying to say what I was going to say, and I was like, I'll just let that live.
You guys are insane. I'm trying to have a genuine conversation. I'm ready to get some sun.
I think that's a more normal way to say that. I think that if you're asking, it'll be nice to be out in the sun, feel the warm weather.
Yeah. You're not wrong, Drew. You can go out there and get that. Yeah.
You're
exactly right.
I want to make that as a drop because I'm sure.
Let's talk some Royals before this show completely derails again.
Yeah.
You and I put together a list. I think I'd given my entire list. I want to hear Drew's too. The Royals have a real chance to win the AL Central. They are currently not the favorite. They are considered second best odds in order to win the division. I think that they should be co-favorites. I think you should be viewing the Tigers and the Royals as equal opportunities. So I'm telling you, I think you get a good price on the Royals to win the division because I think that they are just as likely as the Tigers are to do it. I think really 3 things have to take place. I think that they have to get real power out of the outfield. Jack Caglione or Lane Thomas have got to hit for some real power. I think the back end of the bullpen has to be solid, and they can't have a massive drop-off from the previous years. I do think that that's really important. I think Bobby Wood Jr. still has to be an MVP kind of player. If they do those, I don't think it has to be all of our wild predictions come true for it to do it. If those 3, I think, relatively simple things all align, they can be division winners this year in the Central.
I think first and foremost, other than the obvious with some of the core guys, I think in the outfield, they have to have more pop. So for them to win the AL Central, yes, the easiest path it's Jack Caglione, but I'll throw Lane Thomas in there. I don't know if it's the set number of home runs per se, but we know how poor the outfield was offensively last season. Even though Kyle Isbell had a nice year, there's not much pop there. You brought it up earlier. Mike Yastrzemski, who was a midseason acquisition, had more home runs than any other outfielder at 9. So if they can could Lane Thomas give you 20? Could Cags give you 20? I mean, even bare minimum. I know we want more than that, but if you told me each of them gave you 20 home runs, that's a huge increase. So I don't know the specific number, but
more.
You certainly need whoever's leading your outfield in home runs. It can't be at 10 of them or even 15 of them. It needs to be 20 or more, whether that's from Cags or from Lane Thomas.
Yeah, that doesn't genuinely, does that seem like a big ask? One of those two guys
Shouldn't
hit 20
be.
home runs?
Shouldn't be.
We gave the stat a couple times in the show, but I do think it's worth repeating sometimes as a reminder of how bad it was. The leading home run guy in the outfield last year was Mike Yastrzemski. He played 50 games for the Royals and hit 9. 9. Jack Caglione, who also played barely over 50 games for the Royals, had 7. Anybody who started for the Royals the entire year, as in was on, not for the entire year, but started at least on the opening day roster and had the opportunity to play 162 games for the Royals. The next highest was Kyle Isbell, who had 4. You're telling me right now, that's it? So out of guys who could have started in the opening day roster for the Royals, maintained a starting position for the Royals, the leading home run getter was 4. I'm pretty sure Lane Thomas, or I don't care, Massey, or Caglione, or Isaac Collins, and Isaac Collins isn't like a big power guy. 4. This is the lowest possible ask of all time to get better than that. Drew, do you think that they're going to, we'll make predictions later. Is there something in particular you're looking for out of the Royals to get to the AL Central title?
Get some vitamin D.
Well, besides that,
there'll be a lot of
vitamin
people are very upset. People are very upset with you right now for saying have a catch, not play catch. But go
Disagree.
ahead. The text line is very upset with you. Like we've gotten 5 texts.
It is normally play catch. I didn't have.
I think it's up for debate.
It doesn't matter, but I do think it is. We're gonna go play catch. But go ahead.
They will be getting some vitamin D, but
you did it again. Okay.
No, I'm being honest.
Yep.
They will have some of that, but I think it's the consistency. I think it's being more consistent, just in terms of everything being together at the same time. And that might sound like a broad answer, but it felt like in games last year when the pitching was great, the offense wasn't, and then when the hitting was great, the pitching wasn't. It felt like it was one or the other. It wasn't both things at the same time. So, and which I think ultimately. There would be moments where the Royals are up and then they blow a lead, or they lose 2-1, and it's like, why can't they don't take advantage of the runners in scoring position? It feels like that was something where they weren't cohesively together at the same time very often, and maybe that's more of a playoff thing, I guess, than anything else. But for them to win the Central, I think that also is something that fits the category of what needs to happen. Is they need when the pitching has a good game, the offense has got to be able to deliver and win those games where. In the games where they're hitting well, the pitching has got to be able to deliver. If you're 4th or 5th in the rotation and it's one of those days, just being able to manage things, and if you can get out without having a blow-up inning or whatever it is, be clutch when it matters most, and, those sorts of things I think matter, at least in terms of the division race.
I mean, there's some truth in the consistency would be nice.
Because it felt like that last year where it was one or the other, and if they pitched well, they couldn't hit, and if they hit well, they couldn't pitch. And it was a blow-up inning that would happen, and then they'd lose.
I can't believe it was just last year that their plan in the outfield was MJ Melendez and Hunter Renfroe. I can't believe that was only 365 days ago.
Yeah, it was opening
Those
day.
players seem so washed that must have been a decade ago. It's been so long. And then, there was no fixing it. They tried. They were like, Yastrzemski, and we'll call up our top prospect, and we'll hope and pray, and we'll try. They tried John Ray
was the
and
name, yep.
Drew Waters, who just got DFA'd today. And
Almost like finding something that meshes,
and it was
finding anybody.
Yeah, it was like, Nick Lofton has a good on-base percentage in AAA. Let's see if he can start every day. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
They're trying to make Michael Massey and Jonathan India play left field. It was so
That might also be
bad.
That might also be part of it, is they were just desperate to find anybody to be able to fill the role and be able to, put the bat on the ball.
The text line is just
It's
devolved
split.
into
It's split.
play catch.
There's some
and
people
have a
saying,
catch.
well, in Field of Dreams, it was have a catch. Someone else said that's only people say that is in Field of Dreams. Someone else says it's geographical, depending on where you are. Someone else says have a catch sounds British, which it definitely does.
It does.
Have a catch. Let's go have a catch.
It does.
So I think
It
maybe
definitely feels more father-son. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Play catch is just like two people can
Someone
play
says,
catch. Have a catch definitely sounds like I'm inviting out a kid, and I'm going to scruff his head a little bit before putting his hat on.
This might be the correct one. This probably is true. This one says have a catch technically isn't wrong. It's just very old school 1960s.
So it just makes you sound old.
Have a catch.
I don't think there's a wrong answer. I don't know why the text line got so mad about it.
We got like 5 texts on. I don't know. I guess I probably have always just said, hey, we go play catch. Like, I think that's probably the majority of the time what I have heard and people have said. But have a catch was definitely said in Field of Dreams, the movie, and Kevin Costner.
Can I say that it feels to me in some ways sports related? Like, I would never say have a catch if we were going to go play catch with a football.
Right.
Right. So, like,
but baseball, it's okay.
Yeah. So, like, I would.
But football,
like,
you would say go throw the ball.
Sports,
football, I wouldn't say that. I'd say let's go throw the ball around.
If I had the ball in my,
like
if
you say, let's go throw the ball
if I had the football in my hand and I said,
let's go throw the ball around,
I'd say let's go play catch. Hey, you want to play catch?
I always say I would always say, do you want to play catch? Regardless of it.
I don't know if I've ever said go have a catch.
It's tough because I think in the same scenario, if I had a glove in my hand, I don't think I'd say, do you want to have? I think in the way I said it, I would say it, but I'd say play catch in different circumstances. I clearly have a lot of different rules for myself, depending. But football, I would never say have a catch.
Throw
that
the ball
would just
around.
be
interesting.
I think throw the ball around is another.
That sounds old too. Throw the ball around like with your pops. You want to go throw the ball around with your pops?
I think
that
this
sounds
is why
like old school in some ways
This
too.
is why
I don't
I
know.
think just play catch. Let's go play catch. I don't know.
Well, I should have made
Someone
this a
says,
random
have a
question.
catch
There's a
there.
lot of opinions.
Someone said straight to jail.
Someone says, is there a Field of Dreams game this season? Yeah, they actually are doing a Field of Dreams game in Iowa. It is, oh gosh. Well, it's not the Royals, unfortunately. Is it the White Sox and somebody, or are we off on that? Who is...
How'd the White Sox get a game before the Royals? Have the Royals had a Field of Dreams game?
Considering the Negro
No,
Leagues
they
Baseball
should.
Museum is a staple of this city and is getting ready to like have an even much larger footprint in like the the history of baseball and the Negro Leagues. It's crazy to me that the Royals, with the Monarchs uniforms on, have never played in like the Field of Dreams game or never played in one of those.
Twins, Phillies this year, sorry. Twins, so Minnesota and Philadelphia.
Okay.
There's a couple of people who have typed in like the way that you would say it in a British accent as well, which is great. Or Australian, apparently.
Someone says, oh, great. Now you guys decide to be grammatically correct.
We got to talk for 4 hours, man. Sometimes you say El Jefe, sometimes you say have a catch.
Oh, man.
And you don't even realize it's going to open up a can of worms. You didn't even realize. El Jefe.
Anyway.
I didn't know which way it was going to go. Just trying to talk about the AL Central and where, the things needed in order to
I'm
accomplish
glad
it.
we had the very important text line discussion
The debate.
about playing catch or having a catch.
Those are riveting segments.
It really was.
For those who were texting in earlier asking about Bill Self, no, there are no hard and fast rumors that he's already retired. That was from a couple of accounts early in the day, probably just hoping that that would happen and they could be proven right. Gary Bedore, who's covered the team, and I looked it up, since 1978, so for 47 consecutive years, spoke to Bill Self directly. Bill Self said that those reports that he's already made a decision about whether or not to retire or not are BS and not true. He didn't say he's not retiring. He just said he hasn't come to a decision yet. That, according to what he's told Gary Bedore. Gold said tomorrow he'll give his top 5 coaches you'd like to see Kansas do. Drew, I'm curious what your 5 are, too, because you're an outsider to it, but a big college basketball fan, so you should have an idea of the list. I told you my list 1 and 2 would be Dusty May and Todd Golden. I want a coach in their 40s who's already had success. Dusty May's the bigger risk, in my opinion, because I think penciling him is it'll just work at Kansas, even though he has spent just 2 years at a power program, is certainly a risk. But I would say that that's what happened with Bill Self. How many years was Bill Self at Illinois?
3.
Yeah, wasn't that
I
long?
think.
He went from Tulsa, where he was there for like 3 years, Illinois for 3 years, and then he was just the coach at Kansas. And it'd be foolish to say it didn't work, obviously, if this is indeed his last year coaching the program. And so, like, it just kind of opens up this it's a huge job still, but the NIL stuff and everything else kind of changing it. But no, he has not announced his retirement. He's not getting ready to announce his retirement. I don't think we'll get that announcement today. I still think it'll be,
You said Tuesday?
I think the over-under of Monday afternoon is a fair over-under. I think by Tuesday is probably a pretty good, reasonable expectation. The transfer portal opens on the 7th. Can you really wait past that? Like, I actually think I'd be doing a disservice to the program, which I don't think Bill Self will do if he didn't announce it before the transfer portal. Hell, they should be talking like Stokes narrowed his teams down. The number 1 recruit in all of high school basketball narrowed his teams down to either going to Calipari in Arkansas or Kansas. You should be talking to him pretty regularly, letting him know what Bill, like maybe not telling like, but like saying, hey, by Monday you'll know whether or not Bill Self's the coach, or just maybe not, but like you're going to want that kid to know before he can choose his recruitment, I guess, is what I would say.
Yeah, that'll sort itself out very quickly, depending on what ultimately happens.
Might end up, like, you know what it is, though? If he goes to Arkansas, everyone's going to blame all of this on why he chose Arkansas, which is not accurate.
Yeah.
But people are immediately going to point to that as being, if it's, hey, I'm 50-50, where do I go? Well, I'll just go where I know the coach is.
Doesn't hurt. Also, him seeing what Acuff is doing probably doesn't hurt Arkansas's chances.
No, Darren Peterson went out in the round of 32, and Acuff's having an awesome tournament. And has certainly increased.
I also don't know the
I also
don't know the financial differences between the two, as far as what if they're both in the exact same ballpark of what the NIL offer is. No,
I don't know
between Kansas and Arkansas.
Because in the end, sometimes it's not even about the program; it's sometimes about the dollar.
More than ever, more than ever, for sure.
I still think that the nice thing about being at Kansas is you don't always have to be the highest bidder. You can still, if you're going up against Arkansas, you do. But there are some players you don't still have to be the highest bidder for.
Yeah.
If you're Utah, you still got to be the highest bidder if you want the number 2 recruit in the country.
Well, that's also where I think being, I don't know where, recruits or even potential coaches, how they think about things, what matters more. But that's where KU being the prestigious program that they are and have been, that's where you get the leg up on other programs that you may be competing with. Even the Arkansas job, I think to a certain extent, what are your resources compared to the other schools? Mm-hmm. Arkansas has a lot of money. That's why some would say, well, Arkansas, I can win there or whatever. But it is Kansas, and it depends on what recruits think about it and players think about it. Because if you're a player and you respect the history of it, you want to be a part of a legacy and all those other things, then Kansas is more of an appealing place maybe than it is where you can still get your NIL and all of that stuff as opposed to just getting the quote-unquote most money out of your experience, I guess.
If you take the money in Arkansas, if you care about,